Yeah. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the decks, you're not bullish enough. Traded in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Joggle beat. OnChain Revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain Revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain Revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah, Nicky's. Yeah, OnChain Revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain Revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, chin. Yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the stack. Ordinals the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on this channel. We're covering the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for the OnChain Hour, and today's show is going to be amazing, guys, because at 12 o'clock, we're going to be going over Fluid Friday. I have a lot of big updates with that, guys. If you're in Alkanes, if you're in Runes, you're definitely going to tune in for that. And at 12:30 today, we got the great Jake Gallen. Agent Hustle has been on an absolute tear right now, guys, and we want you guys to learn all about what they're doing with the Migrate.fun, Agent Hustle, the jumping of the ordinals. This might be the top company in all of crypto in a few years. Not even joking. So he's going to be joining us at 12:30. Going to be a fun show. We do have Bitcoin dipping today. We're down at like 115. Galaxy scumbags last night. On 4 different exchanges, they dumped Bitcoin down from 17 to 115, and they really haven't let their foot off the gas, it feels like, and a lot of people are shorting it. Shorts are winning right now. Longs are getting dumped on. You do have Ethereum, though, that is kind of doing really well, especially when Bitcoin's down almost 3%. You have Ethereum down around 1.7, so it is doing good, which means, the Bitcoin, Ethereum Bitcoin number is up today, which we kind of want to see. Ethereum kind of is that indicator for us to lead to an alt season. TradFi does. I mean, TradFi really cares about Bitcoin. That is their baby. Retail, they don't give a crap about Bitcoin. They're relying right now on Ethereum going up. That's why you see when Ethereum goes up, XRP goes up, and all the retail coins kind of go up with that, right? So that's what we need right now. We're all kind of looking at Ethereum. We want Ethereum to succeed, so then our runes and our ordinals and everything else that we own can succeed as well. So really looking forward to that. It is Friday. We got a weekend. What normally happens on a weekend. Saturday is very boring, to say the least. And then Sunday, going in to Sunday night, is actually really bullish. I'm going to be going live at 8 p.m. Sunday night, which is the close. That's actually when Monday starts. So tune in for that. We look check out some candles and stuff like that. So if you're interested, come hang out with me. Very chill. No agenda for that space. Just kind of hanging out, streaming and answering questions. Come hang out. But without further ado, bring my partner here, as always, Mr. Iago B. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
How you feeling today, bro? I feel
Yeah,
the energy coming from you
yeah,
already.
yeah. Hey, look, man. I've been kind of quiet in my own headspace recently because we had 3 weeks of just aggressive push up with Ethereum, and then this past week a little, confusion in terms of, hey, where are we headed next, right? But I think during that time period, it's best to reflect on what you just went through and what we're coming into now and what to prepare for in the rest of the second half of 2025. And so I'm excited after really doing some deep thinking and some kind of self-reflection and what I want to do to prepare for that, because the biggest thing is I don't want to miss like the every opportunity that's coming up here in Q4. And I know that could trickle over to 2026, but my point is I think no matter what, we do have a strong push up at the end of this year. And so that's what I'm trying to prepare for. But at the same time, this back and forth, I'm okay with the range right now. We're actually due for a range that's healthy. So I think the community audience, if you guys are listening in, first of all, share this this stream, guys. Help us out here. We want to get things lively heading into the weekend. But secondly, it's okay for us to range for a little bit. We just had a really good run up for 3 weeks, range for a little bit, and then start aggressive again. So that's where my mindset is at, and I'm excited to kick off this Friday morning show.
Yeah, man, 100%. But like, so we've been ranging, but we just broke below the range. That's the scary part for me, right? So take a look at this. So we've been ranging since our all-time high of 123, just kind of ranging, just like you said. We have officially broken below that. We're out of this triangle. I was kind of hoping that we break out this way. No, we broke out this way. Now we're in basically the opposite of price discovery. We're in free fall mode. This thing could drop all the way down to 110 tomorrow with no liquidity, especially if Galaxy Digital keeps dumping Bitcoin into the market. What do you think, though? Do you think this is maybe a fake out? Maybe we re-enter the triangle and then break out the other way?
I think what I said yesterday, the most important thing to keep your eyes on is this, but the reaction Ethereum has with it. So, let's say this does start to nosedive a bit, right? Getting to 110 would be pretty aggressive. You're dropping $5,000 in a day. And so does Ethereum say, okay, this is too much. This is too much sell pressure. It's more of a overall crypto effect. And so we got to kind of pack our bags and kind of head with Bitcoin, or, hey, this is the time that some of these institutions are really changing hands from Bitcoin to Ethereum even more aggressively, and Ethereum bumps up to 37. And and as long as there's a range for Ethereum between high mid 3500s to mid 3700s while Bitcoin is going down, that's a great sign. Now if it goes up against Bitcoin, even better sign. So that's what I'm focused on right now. Now, of course, if it does go aggressively down with Bitcoin, then we got to say, was this, the start of the actual alt market like we thought? Maybe not, but we're running out of time. That's the thing that makes me think that Ethereum's not going to act like that. We got about 5 months left until the end of the year. It could do some weird behavior the next 2-3 weeks, but I don't see Ethereum crashing to 3,200, 3,100, anything like that if Bitcoin goes down to 111, 110. We'll see if I'm wrong, though.
Yeah, I just don't think that time's running out. I'm in the camp next May is going to be the top. So for me, we could easily drop back down to 32, 31. I mean, Rand Nooner was calling for 31, a retest of back here before we get the next leg up here. So it would be kind of heartbreaking a little bit dropping back down there, because I feel I'm already kind of feeling defeated from the Bitcoin chart. That would be really bad, honestly. Like I think that would really, everyone who came in basically when everything got hot is wrecked, and people leave when they get wrecked.
Yeah, I mean, so look, that's definitely possible. It could get down to the low 3,000s, right? How long does that last for, though, right? So there's something that I'm going to go over during the Bitcoin and crypto price action. I'm going to show Ethereum exactly what the possibilities are, the options here on the daily chart, because there's something that we're seeing in terms of a pattern for Ethereum, especially at that 4,000 kind of resistance that we've hit going all the way back to March of 2024. This is the fourth attempt. So usually, you said it in pre-show, after 3 knocks, you typically get that push through, right? But that doesn't mean there might not be a little breather in between. And does that breather take us down that low? I
Yeah.
don't think so, but it's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I agree with you. I'm never really feeling bearish today. Maybe because it's Friday and I know what Saturday usually holds. I feel like I got punched in the stomach last night like that Galaxy Digital. We'll get into all that. Let's kind of get into the topic of today. 22 trillion money wave hits. Bull market ignites as Wall Street buys 5 million NFTs, loads up on ETH. So yeah, Wall Street is definitely loading up on ETH. But the bigger news right now is CryptoPunks. Someone swept 6 hoodies 7 hours ago. For $2.9 million. So this is institutions coming in. This is one wallet spending 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, almost $2.9 million. Absolutely insane. The hoodies are actually really expensive. They go for like 3, 4. And then you have GameSquare Holdings Incorporated. These guys went and they purchased this I guess CryptoPunk for $5.15 million. Like, what is going on? Like, this is bull market top area of of stuff happening, but it's happening in the kind of the bottom here.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a big statement here. You gotta remember, previous cycles, I don't remember corporations coming out stating that they're purchasing huge,
it was crypto companies.
Yeah, but okay, so now we're talking about multiple though, and the difference that the reason why I feel like this is a big deal is because you don't hear, and I'm sure it happens, but you don't hear too much, and probably because we're not in that space. But like the card industry, which is $1 billion industry, tons.
Yeah.
This is very, in my opinion, a big statement for a big. It sounds like a publicly traded company. Maybe not. I don't know if they are or not, but still,
this is the company that bought a whole bunch of ETH last week. This is
okay.
Remember the company that competing with Sharplink.
Okay, so now they're saying we're in the high value NFT market now. You know what I mean? What does that do? That gives validity to the NFT market in general. It's no longer the one-off celebrities coming in and saying, "Hey, I'm buying a punk for me," and these are corporations that are coming and doing this. And if this catches, the NFT market actually, this makes me excited for ordinals too, because there's going to be certain institutions that say, hey, you guys think that NFTs on Ethereum are big, we're going to get NFTs on Bitcoin, right? So this could be really good for the ordinal space, but it's definitely good for the digital art space, which has been really just kind of beaten up the last year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, no, 100%. Since 2022 January, it's just been down only with a couple things happening. But this is, I mean, to your point, this is basically saying, hey, like, we believe in digital art on chain, right? I mean, that's a huge statement from a publicly traded company like GameSquare Holdings. These guys invest in like gaming companies, and now they're actually in crypto. So the welcome game, we're not responsible for views expressed and content. So this is SEC type of territory now, where the SEC has to kind of come in here and make sure that this stuff's okay. I'm sure it is, but I mean, it's going to be kind of cool to kind of see when the SEC comes out and says, hey, yeah, companies can add $5 million JPEGs to their treasury, and that's okay.
Yeah, well, just think about this too. This is a sign of maturity too, because we're seeing stuff like Patapoo come in and say, shout out Patapoo, by the way. It's been a while since seen you in the chat. It says it's bear moon of yesterday. Expect range bound lower for Bitcoin. But like the maturity is more of the crypto Twitter people, because they've had so much PTSD, and then you're seeing institutions be degen. You know what I mean? Like, the institutions are the ones that are like, hey, no, it's time to be degen. And crypto Twitter is like, I don't know, man. Like, I've been like beat up so much, I'm not ready yet. Like, are you sure? Are you sure? But they're like coming out and saying, yeah, I'm sure. We're spending millions of dollars on JPEGs, right? Yeah. So it could really, really be a sign. Tom Lee kind of gave us a sign for Ethereum. This could be a sign for NFTs. I don't think NFTs front run tokens, never happens. But I think they're just saying, hey, after the token run, I think JPEGs are going to have a good run themselves.
Yeah, no, I agree. I actually couldn't agree more, 100%. But I did find this image from Watcher Guru, and it's kind of pretty funny. 115K today versus 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we were 150K. We were all like celebrating and happy, and today we're feeling like we're in a bear market. It is pretty nuts to think about. Where I'm sitting here crying over potential $111,000 Bitcoin happening, right?
That's crypto.
I'd have been happy.
That's crypto for you, man. It's always about like there's no you think about sports and like the running back position's always like, what have you done for me lately? Kind of position, right? Like I mean, Saquon Barkley got a big contract because he did great last year or whatever. But crypto is the most like that. It's literally like, what have you done for me last week or this week? Because last week
100%.
you were great. This week you're shit. You know what I mean? And I was just like, so I think that probably changes over time as crypto becomes more normalized and it's more looked at. Okay, there's definitive sectors, you know, the blue chips are the safe. The older people start to, the people that got into crypto in their early 30s and now they're like 45 or 50, they're gonna say, okay, I'm sticking with the blue chips. The younger people are always ones that are gonna be like more ready to gamble, right? So we'll come into that, I think, you know, in the next 5-10 years, but right now we're still in this part of the industry that is getting like the foundation and stuff like that. So it still feels like, what have you done for me lately is the mindset, and we'll probably have that for this bull cycle.
Yeah, 100%. Are you interested in buying any digital art right now? Because I'm not. I want to own coins right now. I want, you know, 15, 20x's in the next couple months. Kind of what I'm trying for. I feel like some NFTs can get that, some ordinals can get that, but for me right now, I'm in coin mode. I think I'll be more in NFT mode later in the cycle.
So I do think NodeMonks are looking attracted to me again. I don't know if my heart just it has those like heartstrings because of how well we did with them. You know, but they came out with a post yesterday. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so they're coming out with their own marketplace very soon.
Another ordinal marketplace. Do we need another one?
I'm not sure if it's just ordinals or if there's like a fungible aspect to it too, but it's better than not have anything tied to it. You know what I'm saying? And so, and the fact that they're $5,000 and, you know, at the all-time high, they were selling for 50 to 60 grand at the floor. And, you know, institutions are coming in and saying, hey, we're buying punks now. But there will be Bitcoin institutions, and we've seen Bitcoin investment the past 6 months more than we've ever seen this entire time. We've covered the space since the early 2023, right? So do I expect NodeMonks to jump up to where they were? I don't know about exactly like that 50 to 60,000, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I wouldn't be surprised if they pass it. Now, I would be surprised if they hung around 10,000 and less at peak. I would be surprised at that. And then you also have to think about the collectability, because now that institutions are giving validity to digital art, there will 1000% be emphasis on collectability down the road. So the early inscription numbers, the rare sats, those type of attributes, they will come into play. Now, how soon will they come into play? That's the question. I do agree, if you are experienced in the space and stuff like that, you definitely have this fungible token mentality first, rotate into art, but specific collections that you're like, man, I know this one will run and it's so cheap right now. Like, for example, frogs could be one of those. NodeMonks could be one of the, puppets. We don't know. So
Bitcoin Frog sitting 11, was that 944? No, 100%.
So
but let me ask you this then. Would you, I'll give you $400. I'm $4,500. Are you buying Node Monkeys, or are you putting that in dog? You have two options. You had to pick one, or you don't get the $4,500. Because me, I'm picking dog every time.
I'm picking one if I don't get the $4,500. So dog right here, we're talking about bearish end of things. Like, okay, bearish end of things, probably 1.5 to 2 bill. Medium 3, maybe 5. Bullish case, trying to reach towards 10s and higher, right? So, oh man, this is tough. Well, okay, so because the fact that the dog, I can get to probably 1.5 billion before NodeMonks could get to 50K, I would probably do the dog and then rotate it.
Yeah, because that's what I would do. Right, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what you just said is kind of my strategy right now. right? That's kind of like, I want to make my money on the fungibles, and then maybe down the line convert some of them into a non-fungible. But when I buy non-fungibles, though, I don't do it as an investment. I mean, yeah, it was nice last time for NodeMonks. You know, I bought one, and then but they just went too crazy, and like I had to sell them because they were up too much, right? I'm not gonna sit there on 50K and be like, oh,
especially
yeah.
during that time, whenever
Yeah.
there wasn't expected to be like a bull run. But I mean, it was really hard to get like a gauge in the ordinals and Bitcoin ecosystem. And if you experienced late 2023 and then early 2024, the rest of 2024 you were screwed if you stayed in, because you were like, okay, bull market might be coming early this time, because like there's people are making millions of dollars in ordinals, and we saw people make millions of dollars in the fungible market in Bitcoin. But this is the halving year, you know, it doesn't make sense. But you know, I think that's where time in the market and experience comes into play, because now if you have that kind of run up that is not kind of in the season of what's traditionally the bull market, you better take that money and then save for a good time. So we'll see.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So CBLO, publicly traded company, C2 blockchain acquires additional 61 million dog coins, bringing the total treasury to 133 million. So they're buying the dip hard right now, like really, really heavy. So this is the tweet from them first. They basically came out and they said, hey, like they've acquired 61 more million dogs. And then they had this Access Newswire. I never heard of them, but they did a full piece on them. So it's definitely getting a little mainstream. You know, you can't, it's like a news type of area, newsroom, but they cover all areas like real estate, telecoms, and they actually posted about this. And then if you go to their site here, which is c2dog.com, you can kind of see that their target goal was 200 million. They're right there. They're 61% of the way to their target goal here. What do you think about this, dude? These guys are not, I thought maybe they would take their foot off the pedal if dog dipped, and it dipped and they bought more.
Yeah, this is the reason why I'm not worried about when dog gets to these numbers, right?
Yeah.
And you're always going to have complainers in life. It doesn't matter what sector it is, industry and stuff like that. And that's just how it is, right? And so when things aren't going the way they want at that specific time, they're going to complain about it. And so we've heard some of that from the small section of the dog community, but the dog community is just so strong, and you're not just getting the support from the community people, which is the foundation. The backbone is the everyday dog community person. Let's get that clear. It's not Leonidas. Love Leonidas. He's done huge. He's one of the main factors of why it's gone that way, but it's not what can make or break it. It's the everyday dog soldier person, right? But when you start to see stuff like this, institutions that come out, Kraken is an institution in themselves, support C2 blockchain. You get David Gockenstein, or whatever his last name is, big Twitter account. You get the other dude, starts with an H, Herrick, or Hennick. I think, Hennick, big account. You get Dan from the Cardano community, huge account. 300,000. You got all these huge. It's a matter of time at this point. It's literally a matter of time at this point. And so if there's one single play in this space that's like, you got to prove it with your hodl mentality, it's this play.
Yeah, no, I agree. I couldn't agree more. And this company, you know, publicly traded is nuts. Be buying up damn meme coins. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. Love it for sure. All right, jump to the next thing here. So President Trump yesterday, this is something me and you kind of laughed about yesterday, meets with Jerome Powell, and you know, they talked about the building. Jerome Powell was like, he seemed a little not at ease, I guess. I don't know the right words. He seemed a little nervous yesterday. And then Trump at the end, he like pats him on the shoulder and says, we need to get those interest rates lower. And Jerome, like, he like almost fell over. What do you think about President Trump actually going to the facility? But $3 billion on buildings seems a little excessive to me. I don't know.
It's really excessive, right? I mean, that's what I think, right? But you know, first of all, I saw a post that made me laughed pretty hard, said that this scene looks like it straight came out of The Office, because it kind of does. Like, you know what I
it
mean?
does.
He was like, Trump's reaction to the, or like his approach to this is hilarious. He's like, oh yeah, well, it looks like it bumped up a bit from 2.7 to 3.1 billion, and
Jerome's like,
Powell's like, he just shakes his head. He's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not aware from the Fed of anything like that. He's like, oh, what? I got it right here. He pulls it out, you know, and but look, this is for optics, right? Trump knows what optics can do, and I think what he's trying to do is put pressure on the Fed, make the Fed look like, hey, for the American people, the Fed is not acting in the best interest. And so it puts pressure, right? So either one, it's going to put pressure on him leaving, or two, it's going to put pressure on him cutting. And if he does neither, which he might not, because I mean, at that age, you're kind of stuck in your ways, you know what I mean? Unless there's other pressures that, you know, we won't get into. But with that being said, I thought it was hilarious. I needed a laugh whenever that came out, and I'm glad that they actually filmed that.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Trump then says we should have the lowest interest rates in the country. Jerome Powell tells allies he won't resign despite Trump's pressure to slash interest rates. FOMC next week, the Fed will decide whether to cut, hike, or keep rates the same. President Trump says he thinks Fed Chairman Powell might be ready to lower rates. Let's check Polymarket, though. Polymarket is saying, no change. What do you think about all that?
We got like 5 days until the decisions. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered at this point. September is the next opportunity, right? And so I think that
17th.
Yeah, so I think
that's a long time. That's 47 days.
So that's where I think the range can kind of happen too. You know, it's like ranging with Ethereum 3550 to 3750. We know that we don't have a decision lining up until September, and there's been people calling for September, but typically September is not a great month for crypto, right? So you know, but summers are not typically good for crypto as well.
July is usually, we went over yesterday with Alex, one of our partners, and basically said the same thing. We were just like, hey, like, when was the last bullish July? 2021.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's kind of where I'm thinking that, like, you know, maybe we don't get your typical September, you know. All I know is 5 months left, right? And I know that, you know, what we saw recently in the past week or so with the alts, not Ethereum, but even Ethereum going 3 weeks ago, might feel like you guys are like, we're just, that was the first baby step. We're not even close to Ethereum's all-time high yet, guys. We're 1,200 away from that. So we got time, but I think the next few months is, you know, and that's, if 2026 is great, that's awesome. Regardless, I still think that we have a thrust up in Q4, if it's maybe not the blow off the top, but something aggressive. So got to get ready.
100%. So the kind of the story of the day, the other story of the day is Galaxy Digital moved 30K Bitcoin worth around 3.9 million to exchanges. Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz says ETH could outperform. So he says it this morning after they dumped all the Bitcoin last night. This morning he comes out and says ETH could outperform Bitcoin over the next 3 months. So again, it's like, don't watch what these guys say, watch what they do. But last night he did exactly what he's saying. He dumped it. So there was a secret person who I believe is Adam Back was selling OTC to get Galaxy Digital. Galaxy Digital, they say they're an OTC company. They're really not. They just take your Bitcoin that they buy off you. They give you a price, and then they take it and they dump it on exchanges. So I guess you can consider them OTC. I don't know. But if OTC Coinbase, they only, it's OTC. You buy OTC, you sell OTC. They're not dumping it on the markets like Galaxy Digital. And I think Mike Novogratz is one of the biggest scumbags in crypto. He's a TradFi guy who came in, you know, 4 or 5 years ago. And he has a Terra Luna tattoo on the shoulder of the wolf. He got burned, right? He's a complete scumbag in my opinion. Did they take this last night and take it to 4 different exchanges and dump 30,000 Bitcoin? And he probably shorted it. He probably shorted it first and then drop that down. To 15,000. It was a scumbag move, but it does look like they bought Ethereum up right after they dumped the Bitcoin. Again, they probably dumped it to like 35 and then bought it back up to 37.
Well, okay, so I get why you say that he's a scumbag, and some of his past actions. Obviously, he's a TradFi guy, and TradFi guys they're here to make money.
It's okay to be a scumbag with TradFi. That's the thing, right?
Well,
So
it's self-interest, right? Self-interest. But I mean, like, there's a lot of self-interest in financial markets. I mean, that's what it is. You're here to make money, right? So my point that I'm making is he knows as much as he's a TradFi guy, he has experience in our space. And so because of that, he knows the rotation. And so I think he's trying to kind of help kind of nudge that rotation a bit too. So I mean, that could be good for alts and unit biased retail that's waiting to hear great news at its time, even though it's going to be late for them a bit. So as much as he might be a scumbag, he's also trying to get things rolling, it seems like. We'll see if that's truly what his goal is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hate the guy, honestly. But it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it, right? So, but hopefully the Adam Back or whoever it was is kind of done. Selling to them. I wish they would just sell it to Coinbase, because Coinbase would just sell it to the ETFs, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Maybe they do want the price down though. So it is what it is. All right, let's jump into the crypto fear and greed here. So last week we were at 71. Yesterday we're at 67. We're not far from that 67. What do you think it is?
Hold on. 65.
Right there. We're at 66. A little bit. Basically same thing, honestly. But yeah, so maybe I'll start just telling you to give me a range. Give me a range. Give me a couple numbers, and then so it's just I feel lower than this. I feel 60s, maybe even 58. I don't know, man. Just I hate Saturdays. Like a lot of people, I know a lot of people work Monday to Friday. We do too, but I enjoy what I do, so it doesn't feel like work. But Saturdays are like my worst day of the week because I don't know what to do with myself. Like I don't know what to do. I look at my phone like I do during the week, and I'm like, nothing's moving. This is bullshit. Everything's down. And then Sunday, it kind of like as soon as I can start getting used to Saturday and being slow, it's like, oh wow, Sunday's back, and kind of drives it back into Sunday night, which is eventually Monday morning. So, but what are you thinking, man? What do you think tonight? Do you think it's back in the 60s, and do you think tomorrow's gonna be a little bearish?
Well, Friday nights are typically not great.
Yeah.
But I don't expect too much. I mean, like we had a big dump today. And the only thing I can think of is if institutions are saying, hey, let's do this rotation, and they're like caballing this together, right? They're saying, hey, let's make sure that this rotation happens because it benefits us, and maybe we do see down to 113 again. I don't see getting back to 110, but who knows, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
Benjamin Cohen's on the other side of this. He thinks that, he's kind of more aggressive than I am on Bitcoin not pulling back too hard and actually pulling up here in the next week and a half to 2 weeks and bringing dominance up. So I don't know, man. It's going to be tonight is going to be a good test. I'll say that because Fridays are typically not good price action. Yeah. And so if we do see a downward kind of price action leading into Saturday, if it does spiral down to 113, does it go past? Do we have one of those bleed out days that just sucks? And you're like, when is it going to stop? Oh my God, put the tourniquet on, And if not, then good sign. Yeah. And Sunday could be decent. So that's the way I'm my approach I'm taking.
Yeah, I do think Sunday's going to be a good day, but I just think the next potentially 36 hours aren't going to be the funnest, but we'll see. But let's get into the crypto fear. Let's get into the crypto price action brought to you guys by Artura Finance. Guys, Artura is now live. We put out a whole video on how to bridge over to Botonics, which is a Bitcoin L2, and potentially use Artura. Low money, low leverage. Guys, there's not many people using it right now. So just using that, you only got a couple weeks, I'm telling you. You're going to want to at least get on their leaderboard. I'm on the leaderboard. I think you guys should too. You can do it with $5-10, right? Go over there, open a short, open a long, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. Low money, get on there. It's going to be definitely going to be worth it for you in the terms of potential points and stuff like that. And Botonics is saying they're going to be airdropping Bitcoin to people who use the chain. We're actually this Sunday, we're actually going to create and put out a video of actually going through all the potential airdrops opportunities there, because it's kind of like if you guys played on Abstract with the badges. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to get all the badges, and potentially that could be by the end of the year. And we're talking potentially $100,000-$200,000 with the Bitcoin airdrops from them, if not more than that, right? So really excited for Botonics getting free Bitcoin at the end of the day. Who knows how much it could be? The more you play, the more you get. So definitely want our community to win, and I want you guys to be playing over on Botonics. We do have someone from Botonics joining the show on we're gonna do a pre-record with them on Monday. That video will probably be out on Tuesday or Wednesday, kind of learning about Botonics, the backstory, the history, and what is kind of next for them. So definitely want to tune into that as well. But check out Artura Finance today.
Absolutely, guys. And remember, Artura coming up as a perps and leverage platform in the Bitcoin ecosystem. The financial system is rotating, right? We have this new one that's creating. Remember how many brokerages existed before? You had Fidelity, E-Trade, Robinhood, more like probably 20 or etc. As this financial system continually grows in crypto, you're going to have multiple perps and leverage platforms that have sustainability and foundation, and they're just getting started in the Bitcoin ecosystem. They're going to be offering unique products, and we're excited for those products because we're going to be showing those live once they are live on the platform as well. But before we get into the Bitcoin price action, guys, help us out here. Share the space, smash that like on the YouTube side, give us that support, guys. We know that you guys always support us, and we love you for that. On the X side, make sure that you hit that like as well. Share the space. Let's get as many people in here as possible. Abstract as well, guys. We love you on the abstract side as well. Definitely excited to have you guys a part of our community. But let's get into some price action here. All right, let's take a look here. Let me pull down that and pull up my hour chart, starting with Bitcoin, of course, as always. Okay, let's take a look here. All right, so after the dump overnight, we were kind of ranging actually yesterday, 119, right? And then started to see this freaking like waterfall down, and we just bottomed out here. It looks like, at least for now, at that 114,500 level. What's going to happen for the rest of the day? We'll see. But the one thing that we can try to use is these indicators, right? The momentum indicators, and the MACD is one of the best momentum indicators. You can see here, the blue line looks like it's wanting to turn up, but here's where things can get tricky. You see the blue line, it's the fast line. The orange line is the slow line. When they typically cross, you will see a change of direction happen. That didn't last very long. It came right back down. And so right now there's a hesitancy on the bull side to bring it back up, right? So, but typically whenever there's a really strong sell pressure on one side or the other, and it flips back and forth, a lot of times, I feel like it does go the opposite way. With that being said, it is a Friday, and typically there's not really, a lot of positive price action in the most recent historical data, I should say, to push us back up somewhere back to 119. I don't really see that, but we'll see what happens. Right now, it's really trying to decide on which direction it wants to go for the day here. I don't know what happened with that. Let me open that up. Oh, I just made it worse. Okay, cool. Sorry guys, give me 1 second here. Okay. All right, so we'll skip the stochastics here, but okay, so there is a chance that we pull back up. Let's actually see where the support and resistance is for the hour chart, which is going to give us a forecast for the next 2, 4, 6 hours. So this would give us a good forecast for, heading into the evening here. But looking at the going back to 4 a.m. this morning, looking at the 115,450 mark. So support is definitely kicking back up here, right? So we have a little bit of balance right here at the 115,550. And then we're fighting a little bit of support here. And then, yeah, so we look pretty decent in this area here. The problem is right here, we lose a little bit to the resistance side at the 115,300 and lose a lot here at the 115,200. So we got to really maintain this region here. If we can maintain this and then pop back up, so we need some big bids because there's not too much volume this Friday morning, right? So some big bids could come up here and push this up to where we have more support, right? We could get to the 115,800 mark right here. I think that would, give us a lot of support. It's a bit lopsided here, but really getting to, let's see where these resistance levels are as well. So, this resistance level on the 1 hour, we're seeing 116,500 too. So getting back to that area too is going to be very important. And right here, you can see the resistance is pretty lopsided, right? So getting through these areas, getting back here, and hopefully, putting some big bids in on the buy side could really catapult us through. But we gotta really make some they have to be pretty big buy bids, or accumulate more buy orders in general. But that is bringing it a little bit further back in terms of data, right? So it's a little tricky right now. It does seem like it's losing a little bit of that sell pressure. We'll see if we can bounce back here. On the 4 hour, looks like it looks like it's in sell pressure, guys. We need that 1 hour to get at least back to 117, maybe 18 to kind of get us out of this, right? So not looking too good. 4 hour not looking too good, not gonna lie. So if the 4 hours looking this way, we might have that typical Friday evening, to where we kind of sell down to. Remember, the 113 has been that local low. If we get below that, that's where things could get dangerous this evening. But I just don't see it, but we'll see. All right, the daily. Remember, we had such a strong run on the daily chart for Bitcoin, guys. We got to remember that. Going back to June 26th all the way until July 21st, right? And then it started going to the sell pressure. So how strong will the sell pressure be? How long will it last? Will it be something like this? Hopefully not. Will it be something like this? Hopefully yes. Getting a little break in between March and April was like this, right? So if we could get something like that, a little break here, and then start to let up and then come back up. I don't know, guys. Like, August to me seems like it could be this ranging from, touching some of those local lows, like the 113, 114, and ranging all the way back to like 117, 118, maybe 119. It could happen, right? It also could be something like this for like August. Remember, whenever we have kind of like this correctional period for 3 weeks, it feels like 2 months, but it's not as bad as it seems. So just remember that it's not as bad as it seems. And the market makers are going to do what they do. They work for who? They work for the centralized exchanges, right? They get paid to do what they do. So if centralized exchanges think that everybody's over leveraged to the long side, they're definitely going to try to liquidate and hit stop losses. So that's just how the game works, guys. And this could be their very last chance to do that. Remember that, before a big leg up for Q4. So they're going to take advantage if this is the last chance. All right. So that's what the daily looks like for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is something that we got to pay a lot of attention to, because even if Bitcoin does pull back, Ethereum could do its own thing. It typically does after it's made that convincing move up for the bull market year. We hadn't had that all the beginning of this year up until 3 weeks ago, in my opinion. Now, this is the actual test for Ethereum. If Bitcoin pulls back to the 113 and below, how does Ethereum react? Does it go aggressively to the downside? Or does it say, we're ranging here because we're ready to go? We haven't made that statement until 3 weeks ago. We're not going to go back as far as you this time. And in fact, we might actually go up some. So it's something to take a look at. So this is the daily chart for Ethereum, right? The daily chart, going all the way back to March of 2024, last year, we have made about, this is our fourth attempt at the $4,000 mark. This didn't quite get there. We got to 39.93. I'll count it though, just because it's so close. So we had a knock here, right? Fake out, back down. Pretty much a knock here, fake out, back down. All right. So then we started, this was after Q4 of last year, which was a pretty good period for alts, and Ethereum was decent, right? And then range down here to only get back up here. Oh, sorry, this is Q4 right here, right? So this was earlier 2024. This was summer 24. And then we got back here in Q4 of 2024. Now, since Q4 of 2024, in 2024, we had 3 attempts at 4,000. We've only had 1 so far in 2025. What does that mean? Right here, oversold. Okay, Bitcoin was hot. If you look at 2024 Q4, Bitcoin was the top search crypto in Google, and alts and Ethereum, very low rating, 40, 45, something like that. Then Bitcoin's the talk of the town. It gets up, ETFs, all these things, institutions making all this money, buying all this Bitcoin. Bitcoin continually hits all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. And then this Ethereum sell down becomes brutal. What does that mean? Alts become hit so hard, right? This is an oversold strategy, it looks like, from my opinion, from the institutions to get Ethereum dirt cheap right here. You're looking at getting it at the lows, dude. I feel crazy for not just mortgaging my house and not buying all the Ethereum at $1,300 right here. Obviously, I wouldn't go that extreme, but you know, hitting 1,300 in April of 2025, right? And then it starts to slowly rise up. Not too many people are talking about it. They're just barely saying ETF news about Ethereum's ETF slowly increasing. Then you get right around this range, you get the Sharplink purchase, and they're becoming the micro strategy of Ethereum. Then we're going here at like the $2,500 mark. Okay, Sharplink's acquiring more. Again, more news. We get about here, and then Tom Lee comes on, right, and says, "Hey, we're rotating." All of a sudden, bam, bam, bam. How can this not be strategic? In my opinion, they know the rotation should happen according to plan, cycle plan. So I think we got such an aggressive oversold situation here. I think we get an overbought situation ending the year. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't get something maybe like this, maybe not as extensive as this, but like something that, like, you know, brings us back down to fake out people. Because like I mentioned, the centralized exchanges pay the market makers to do these kind of things, but maybe a fake out, you know, getting back to like 33, 3,400, something like that. And then that overbought situation occurs to finish the year. Everybody's rotating. Institutions are rotating. That's how I see it. But I could be wrong. I'm just playing out what I see on the charts. So that's kind of a breakdown for Ethereum for you guys. I know that was very, very long-winded, but I just had to address that in terms of how I possibly see it. What do you think? Do you think this scenario plays out?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to have, you know, a bullish fall, I mean, that's definitely, I mean, it's going all the way till September, November, right? If your lines are correct there. So I mean, so that's telling me by November, was that 15? What's the high up there with the, yeah?
Well, yeah, I mean,
about 6,500.
Yeah, so this is just kind of I wanted to address that. Like, I think we're gonna be in overbought to finish the year, is what I'm saying for Ethereum, right? So, you know, if Ethereum gets to 6,500, 7,500, 8,000, whatever the scenario is, it's going, in my opinion, I think we get into an overbought situation, which is good, but you got to know that, right? So that's just me, my perspective. Maybe people say it won't be overbought. That's how I look at it. Typically, when you do see something like this that has logic to it, to where, you know, the institutions are starting to rotate and they're able to buy Ethereum slowly without retail even thinking twice about it at 1,300. I mean, that's a steal. Imagine how much they're in profit, but imagine how much they will be in profit whenever it gets into overbought territory. And I think that's whenever we start to see some sell-off, right? Whether that's in, you know, late December, whether that's in early January or late January. I don't know when that's going to happen. Maybe the overbought goes until January. Maybe it goes until February. But there will be a point where they're going to take profit and stuff like that. So that's just how I see it. But the reason why I bring this up is because we just got to the baby steps, right? 3 knocks. First time attempting 4,000 in 2025 is wild to be in July whenever we did it 3 times in a halving year.
Yeah, 100%. And normally when Ethereum is overbought, it stays overbought for a long time. Like, it's like 4 to 5 months of just straight upward momentum. I mean, last time it was overbought was probably what, $1,400 ETH in like January of 2021, and then you saw what, $400 to $4,800 ETH by like March, April, right? It was absolutely insane.
Yep. And last thing here, I don't know, the crypto bubble's not gonna look too great. Yeah, I'll just hit on some of the major ones here. And if you guys have any you want me to check out, just drop them in the chat. Let's get that chat going, guys. All right, Pump is down 16.2. Surprise.
I'm thinking about going long on Pump. I'm not even joking with you. Like, Pump's gotten beaten down so bad that the bottom has to be within a few percentage points of here.
Oh, okay. So this is the wild fact right here. Pump's market cap is $870 million. Pump's largest market cap token is bigger than its token for his platform. So
Yeah.
Fartcoin has a bigger market cap than Pump itself. So, obviously
Not fully diluted though.
not fully diluted,
Because
but
Farcoin is fully diluted. So
it's fully diluted, but there's more money in it right now in general.
well, not fully diluted. Fully
Yeah,
diluted still
no,
like
well,
3
because
billion.
when you have circulated supply, right? Don't you have the
Yeah.
opportunity to shoot it higher when it's a smaller supply?
Yeah.
What-
It's what's out in the market, right? Not locked up.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
everything's out in the market with
Yeah.
Fartcoin, and it's still a higher market cap. So that's what I'm trying to explain there. And so my point that so I'm a big hater of I'll admit it. I don't care. Like, but I'm not a hater of opportunity. And so I do agree with you that there's going to be a point in time, and if you just look at the chart, people crying about airdrop, people crying about Elon not giving back to the community and stuff. What's the perfect strategy? Elon don't want to reach into his pockets and give his money to, the people crying about an airdrop. Okay, let's go ahead and valuate this token at $4 billion. And then let's write it all the way down to $800-700 million market cap and short it. And take a lot of that money and let's put it into the airdrop and give it to them then, and then release some sort of product offering or whatever you have to do, get people, pumped up. They're okay giving the market share to Bonk right now because they feel like, once they do start to do the airdrop and they do these like creator streams with like big creators and all these things, like they feel like they can drive this back up perfectly for the bull run and blow it off the top and get to $10 billion market cap. Right. So it's strategy like no other if that's what they're doing. And Elon's a smart guy, as much as I don't have too much respect for him and other than his intelligence. I think that this could be the play that he's doing. So
no, I definitely agree. I definitely agree with you. I think that potentially they don't care if dropping it down to $2 billion, right? Or whatever, however low it is, whether that's FDV or what's out there. But I think dropping it down to a $2 billion 002. I think that's not a bad place for long there. I don't think that they let it go for too much longer. I think it's okay because it's summertime. I think it's okay, but I think in September this thing's back to 4.004. Which is potentially from right now 40%.
Yeah, definitely could be. I do think they need to have some other angle though. They have to add something, and I think they will.
Oh yeah, I know they will.
Yeah, and then you got Pengu pulled back at 10.7%, which it actually went on a pretty good runner, so that's not too bad, honestly.
The last couple days, it's been getting
maybe, but
hard, bro.
But it's at 0.036, which is actually not too bad because I remember after its first run up, it got back down to 0.02829. So I think I think Pengu is actually in a decent spot right now, sitting at 2.27 billion market cap there. Dogwoof Hat pulled back 7.9%. Bonk pulled back 10%. So I mean, just everything that was hot before just getting hit. Not too much of a shocker with the overall markets kind of taking a step back. Near Protocol pulling back 4.5%. Radium pulling back a 9.9%. XRP pulling back 6.3%. Ondo pulling back 5.8%. You got Fartcoin pulling back 9.7%. And you can see here Fartcoin $1.7 billion market cap. Pepe pulling back 7.5%. SPX pulling back 8.3%. Jasmy pulling back 6.5%. Let's look at some green to bring some positivity in here. MakerDAO up 3.7%. Congratulations to MakerDAO. Tron down here. Justin Sun saying nope, we're gonna stay green by 0.5%. Bitcoin Cash up 1.8%, and then you got HTX up 0.8%. Let's take a look at the top 200 here. All right, we got Meme Land down 20.1%. Useless down 12.5%. So Useless is actually the largest market cap token on Bonk.fun. I just learned that yesterday. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So you got Useless there, and then you got Sneck down 11.1%. Mog pulled back 8.5%. What else we got here? Starknet pulling back 3.1%. Pop Cat pulling back 10.1%. Let's see here.
Look at Maple top right, up 8.2%. This is the strong. I just found out last night. I was actually doing research on them. They actually are the only company out there with more RWA than Biddle.
Wow.
Their assets under management are actually higher than BlackRock's Biddle. Isn't that crazy? Maple
pretty crazy.
Finance. Insane.
Well, I mean, you know, that they like, man, it was so hard during that period to tell who was legit, who wasn't,
Yeah.
but they definitely came out on top here. All right, for our guy, Stan says Hex. Let's take a look. Hex is down 1.9%. It is ranked number 104. So actually pretty good ranking. Market cap still, you know, healthy here at 683%. Volume's a little low though, 24-hour volume
That's
at 1
because
point.
it doesn't have any exchange listings. It's not on any
Okay,
exchange.
they won't touch it or what?
No, exchanges don't touch it because of there's some flags with the contract, but that's how Richard Hart made it, right? They made it like to where there is flags and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm bullish on Hex. I'm bullish on Hex when Richard Hart does a live stream. Richard Hart does a live stream. I'm selling everything and going all in on Hex. I'm not even joking with you. When Richard Hart does a live stream, Hex is going to 20x.
20x. Wow.
Dude, like that day. Like if he continuously does live streams, oh man, he is like the old like that is a cult. That is Hex is a cult.
I mean, it's a cult. It's occult. You know, it's like one of those witchery and stuff. It's like I mean, like with his whole live streams and the dark candles and all that stuff.
Dude, he might, I don't know what he does to people, like he hypnotizes them or whatever during the streams, but it's usually insane.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that is going to wrap up the crypto and Bitcoin price action. Like I said, if you are in the chat, you want us to take a look while I'm doing this, just drop it in there just like Stan did, and we'll take a look. But appreciate you guys, and hopefully this helped you guys out.
Yep. And let's jump into the roll call. Let's get into your comments. So every day we do track the number one comment of today, and the number one comment is Webdro. Congratulations to you, my friend. You have win number 37 on the year, 2 behind Lackey Lukey. It is becoming an all-out war right now between these guys. Absolutely awesome to see. We're giving away a Bitcoin Frog today, valued at $988. Who knows? That might actually be a $3,000-$4,000 asset in December. And I wouldn't even be mad at you guys as soon as you do get it if you flip it. Like
I'll be happy.
I'll be happy for
you. They earned it, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, dude, these guys grind every single day for this, so I'm really glad it's one of you guys. But I highly recommend anyone still try and get that spot because you definitely want to be on this list. We're gonna do something special to everyone who makes this list, so get on there. We're not sure exactly what it is yet, but we're gonna figure it out towards the end of the year. Webdro is here. Shout out to Webdro. I said Webdro, my bad. Mats is here. Rare Sats Dom is here. Shout out to Rare Sats Dom. Lackey Lukey, right there. Congrats, Webdro. Hydro Sapien is here. GM. We're gonna get lift off. Yeah, man. I hope so. I really do. Dog Catalyst is primed and ready. Blast off. Yeah, man. I agree. Once things get bullish again, I do think Dog is one of the huge coins that does some crazy stuff. Choda says, how many of you think we will see Bitcoin above 150K next month?
Next month. August. I wouldn't be shocked if it does. Just because, like I said, if we're going to get to 200 to 250 by end of the year, we gotta level up, right? Does that happen in September? But you still have October, November, December as well. That could happen. We could get to like 200 in December if we start to run up in beginning of October. October, in my opinion, is going to be a bullish month. It seems to have been the past couple of years, so we'll see.
I think we do. I think we hit 150 in August. I'm going to say I think we're going to be at 300K November, December. I feel a lot of people are going to get off the train, and then we run even harder the first couple of months of next year. But that's just my prediction. Merlin's Lucky is here. Shut the Merlin's Lucky. Webdro again. OnePlus Ad is here. Appreciate you being here every single day. OnePlus Ad, man, really appreciate you. Malam Yuri says, all of these huge inflows were going to pump our bags, but they're clearly holding the market down and buying even cheaper than most of us. How does this play out? So you're basically saying TradFi, you thought they were going to come in and pump your bags, but they're actually holding it down cheap and they're buying cheaper. How does this play out? TradFi is here to make money. TradFi, they buy low, they sell high, right? So I think that in the next couple months, 6 months, that they're going to pump the shit out of these prices. Right.
Yeah. And I also think that like you got to remember that not just TradFi, the centralized exchanges aren't going to just let us in July for Ethereum go from essentially 27, 2800 to 3800 and then continue on just constantly like getting to all-time high in one session or one,
Yeah.
attempt, right? So I think like this pullback, if you're speaking of Ethereum more specifically, what's happening right now is a pause, right? It's intentional. It's to confuse these people that were up, hundreds or thousands, hundreds of percent in their leveraged longs, right? Especially if they got in at 2,700. You got to remember that. They're putting in this like situation. Oh, should I take profit, man? It might go to 3,200, because the last thing that they want is someone going from 2,700 to 4,800, 5,000 in the summer, right? And so I think that we're just going through this little bit of a breather pause, whether that takes us down to 3,400, if we do, in the case that I don't think it's going to happen, but it could, if we do go down to 3,100, it's not going to, I would be shocked as hell if we broke $3,000. I'll say that right now. I will be extremely shocked as hell if we break $3,000. But with that being said, it will be a temporary thing to shake out these over leveraged longs, because I'm sure there was like, up until the shakeout of confusion, everybody was leveraged long. You're talking about going from 2,900 to 3,800, $1,000 increase. So that's what it is, Malam. And I know that you've been a part of the show, and we love you for the support and stuff. And so it's probably frustrating because you're like, okay, we've been suppressed this entire time. We're ready for a blow off the top. It's coming, in my opinion. I could be wrong. This is how I feel. But it's we might have to wait till late August, September, October. But we've waited 6 months. What's waiting another month and a half to 2 months to really get those glory days?
Well, we waited 3-4 years.
Well, for some people, right?
100%. Bitcoin Truth is here. GM. Shout out to you, my friend. Every day, you guys. Abstract is here. Shout out to Abstract. What's up, guys? K99. Appreciate you, my friend. Chips and Dip is here. Shizzy and Yagobi. Yes, sir. Spindrift is here. FK Galaxy Digital. Seriously, I agree. Vader Time is here. Bearish weekend ahead. I think so. What do you think?
I don't know. We'll see here in the next couple hours. I don't think so.
You think we'll be higher on Sunday than we are today?
Well, yes. 115. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll be higher Sunday. I'm not saying that we're gonna have a bullish tonight or Saturday.
Yeah,
I think Sunday we do have a pick back up, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. There could be a bleed out tonight.
I think it's 113 tonight, and if not tomorrow morning, but we'll see. Satoshi Nakamoto is here. Crypto Winner is here. He says, you can hear the bull, but we cannot see it. Be patient. Yeah, that's true. I hear him. Just don't see him. 100%. RunesDex is here. Bonjour. RunesDex says, don't read, but I'm going to read this anyway. Could be an ad, but we reduced our fee to 1.5% for the weekend. Oh, wow. Could give your listeners an early start, but only read out if you're cool with it. I'm cool with it, bro. I don't care. We love you guys over at RunesDeck, so appreciate you guys always. That
was smart, though. That was smart.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're buying runes, maybe use some rune decks over the weekend. 1.5%. Chief Axel's here. Shout out to Chief Axel. Patty Poo is here. Sup, my guy. Appreciate you. Toast is here. Yeah, what's up, Toast, man? We're actually going to put out your video either tonight or tomorrow, so look out for that. We did a video. Toast is a trader from the Artura community. And so we'll see. You guys can check that video out. It's really awesome. Patty Poo's here. He says it's a bear moon as of yesterday. Expect a range bound, lower end range around 113. Maybe that's why I feel bearish, bro. Is Saturn leaning up against the moon or some crap? I don't know. But I definitely have a little bit of a bearish take today. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not normally bearish. KDN is here with a GM. RuneStax is you're already here. So the flow is a runes rich, ordinals rich. Not really sure what you mean there. Patty Poo says, no fee marketplace. Let's go. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Stan is here, my guy, bro. He said there's an unknown source that shared the boomers grabbed real estate for cheap in their era and crypto's new age real estate for the generation for cheap. Would this channel agree or disagree? Yeah, 100%. Like the boomers did. They were able to get, I hear all the time, I paid $30,000 for my property. It's now worth $1.2 million, right? And then people in our generation's like, oh, yeah, I grabbed 10 Bitcoin back in 2014 for, $700 each. So, yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, and it's the salary to real estate ratio back then. You got to think about that. Like the real estate increased with inflation, but salary didn't keep up with the pace at all. So that's where you can kind of see where the opportunity is.
Say same thing about Bitcoin too, right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin increased, but salaries did not increase. Patty Foo says ordinals will be the last leg up. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking too. Blow off top could be as soon as 74 days. Most cycles last for 111 days. That's the math. Yeah, but no, this cycle was definitely pushed down by the tariffs. I think we lost 6 months. So I think that I think you should take off 6 months of that and add it to next year. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, probably.
And then Patty Poo says, still haven't sold one single dog out of my 3 airdrop bags. Good for you, brother. Good for you. Patty Poo says, Too Late Powell is taking cash kickbacks on those contracts. He compromised and crooked. I honestly wouldn't doubt it. I do like Powell. Like I've said multiple times in the show, but I honestly, everyone is in politics usually for one reason. That's to make as much money as possible. RunesDex says they'll cut rates and they'll publish the crypto report and they'll print cheap money to buy crypto. This is how they get out of debt. It's also why he signed the Genius Act and instructed Fannie Mae to acknowledge crypto as capital assets. Wow, yeah. Hey, you took it deep there, bro. Like that's some next level stuff. What do you think?
I hope this happens. If it happens, then it's going to be big money for everybody that's been investing and waiting this entire time.
Yeah, 100%. Mempool Punk is here. Shout out to Mempool Punk. Patty Poo says, "Oh, shiz, you cracked me up, buddy. You both were wear your hearts on your sleeves like me. Love it. Hell yeah, man. Shizzy and Yagabi will always tell you their honest opinions. No compromises. Gotta love it. Always.
Appreciate that, man.
I'm always going to be dead honest with you. And just because I'm feeling a certain way today, I might feel a different way tomorrow, right? So just to make sure you guys understand that, like, if I'm bullish on something today, tomorrow, I change from day to day. We're normal on the show. We're not like these robots who are convinced about something. And I'll easily change my mind if I hate on something and something changes. I'll easily, like XRP, for instance, right? I change with information. The fact that they are, partnering with BNY Mellon and they have, what is it? XRP EVM. I mean, that's two things that really got me bullish on XRP for the first time in my entire life. Patty Boo says 113,751 is my target to buy more. Yeah, I think that's a perfect target. I actually do think we hit that in the next 24 hours. Stan says Hex. Yeah, Hex is a token created by Richard Hart in 2020, created in October 2020. It's like he made everyone who bought in 2020 made millions and millions of dollars. I mean, he took that token. It was like a 10,000x. Every dollar you put in 2020, I don't care what day it was. It could have been the 31st of December. If you would have waited until 2022 to sell it, you made out insanely. You would with a 10,000x. Every dollar was 10,000 1 year after launch. Stan, and then you got Sawan Patel's here. Thoughts on Melania and Trump? So I love the people. I don't love the coins. What do you think?
So Trump is going to sustain, its market cap and go up in price, I think. But Melania, that's just a derivative that I'm not too bullish on. I think it maybe thrives if we're in a 2021 situation to where you could throw money at freaking anything and make a 5-10x. But that's the only case. Trump, in my opinion, that token probably will live on forever or a long time, just because number one, it was launched by whatever the LLC, and it's established. There's a thing in crypto, guys, you gotta have to understand. So whether it's a meme coin or a utility token, well, more for meme coins, actually, I would say, if it reaches, there's a certain point of no return for it, right? It reaches a certain market cap, it reaches a certain amount of support to where literally there has to be a industry-wide concentrated effort to destroy it. And I think Trump is that token is very close to that, if not there already.
And I'm honestly in the camp that you can buy anything in July in August of this year, and if you sell, potentially in the next 6 to 12 months, you're gonna make money. So I mean, it just depends how many X's, right? Is Melania going to outperform a lot of the assets that I like? Probably not, not at all. But will it go up maybe 4 or 5x? Probably, right? I think that's fair to say. In 6 months from now, Melania's up 4x from it is today.
What's the market cap now? I'm curious.
It's like 800 or 600 million.
No way, it's that high, is it?
I think so.
Let me see.
I remember that the team holds more than
200 million. 200 million. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So in that case, we could probably see something 3 to 5x in a very bullish environment.
Yeah, 100%. Super fans here with a GM. My guy, I appreciate you, super fan, every single day, brother. I appreciate every single one of you guys who makes roll call each and every day. It means so much to us. Thank you guys. 100% there. All right, but let's kind of get into our next segment of the day. So every Friday, we like to talk about our good friends over at Fluid. Raul will not be joining us today, but no worries. They have huge updates that they asked us to cover. This is a lot of opportunity for you guys. If you guys are interested, let's go over to fluidtokens.com. Let me show my screen here. First thing you want to do is go to Bitcoin, launch Bitcoin, and this is it, guys. You have an opportunity with staking. So right now, you can stake Alchemist, Alkane, and you can receive the reward is 80,000 Alchemist tokens. You can stake Dust. I never heard of Dust. It's a new one for me.
So Dust is the staking reward for staking Alchemist.
But what's Moons then?
That's a good. So it looks like we're entering the the multiple coin per project era that we went through in 2021. So look, I don't know. Maybe there's a partnership with Moons and Dust, but gotcha. I do know that well, maybe I'm wrong there, because it does say Mist is the reward for stake. Well, no, so Mist is Alchemist, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're staking Mist to get more Alchemist. Then Dust is a reward on the Alchemist website when you stake Alchemist. So Dust is probably getting this, which, to be honest, dude, this kind of makes me a little bullish, because when you start to get into these Ponzi-nomics of staking to get more staking, I'm not talking about Fluid specifically, and I'm just kind of making light and poking fun of the whole thing that Andre kind of started with Phantom, right? But it whenever you're in a bullish environment, dude, these thrive.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I'm curious, are you going to be partaking in Alchemist or Dust? I know I'll probably partake in Dog. You have 2.2 million Dog already locked up. The 100 million is the goal here. 25 Diesel is the reward. So that's a little on the low side. It's going to be broken up, divided by everyone else. What's Diesel, like $27?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, Diesel's like it's kind of expensive. I think it's ID Club is the.
And then it's 240,000 Dog. A split. So I mean, those could be a bit better, but maybe they're just testing it out too, to see what the demand is. I think it's really cool the fact that they're doing a cross staking per Meta Protocol fungible token. So that's really cool. I mean,
if you're holding the tokens anyway, you might as well be a part of this. Right? There's no reason not to. If you're holding Dog and you're just going to plan on holding it to the unlock, I mean, you might as well. So it unlocks it's only a month lock. It's only 1 month, 30 days. Right, so that's up to you to do. So if you do hold Dog, you can potentially get some Diesel, and if you hold Diesel, you can get some Dog. So that's actually big. Again, these are only 1 month long. So from today till you got 9 days left to closes up, and then within like probably 24 days after that, you can unlock it. So really quick vaults there. If you guys are interested, check them out there. And remember, they do have the airdrop tool. If you did create an Alkane or a rune, you can actually airdrop your Alkane and your rune to whoever. You can upload a file, or you can add manually. You can add how many, if you have like 50 to 30. But I would honestly go the route of just kind of doing it with the spreadsheet. If you do it with the spreadsheet, it'll actually go upload, and then you can download a template that is like a Google sheet. You can download that, and then you can just put everything in there. It's like an Excel sheet. So you put all the addresses in there and then upload it. So you can do thousands and thousands at that point on a spreadsheet, and then you can do it that way. But definitely check out if you are interested in alkanes or runes and, you know, airdrop in your community. Let's just say you have an NFT project, you want to do that, you can just definitely utilize the tools. There is one now. We never had an airdrop tool, especially for runes, and then we have one for alkanes as well, so pretty big. But yeah, diesel, stake diesel, earn dog, stake dog, earn diesel, stake mist, earn mist, stake dust, earn moons.
Yeah, really cool, man. And you know, that's the thing about Fluid, is that they're always ready no matter what in terms of whatever protocol is needed to have support. And so you're seeing it right here, cross support with runes and alkanes. And so this also gives validity to alkanes as well. So really cool stuff. I mean, like, we don't know what the Bitcoin ecosystem standards are going to look like in the future. It could be like this. This could be the version of the Bitcoin kind of L2s within, and then you have the scaled solutions outside if you want to do things outside. But one thing's for sure is that the builder community for Bitcoin has been the strongest it's ever been seen, and also it's not going to go away. And so we'll continually see this evolve.
Yeah, not going anywhere at all. Definitely want to check out this. And remember, guys, if you are a Cardano user, they do have a lot going on over on Cardano. So you guys can check out here. They got verified loans. You guys can do loans and stuff like that. And I'm not really too you know, gung-ho on Cardano assets, but maybe I should be. They have a lot of opportunity here. Boosted staking. Staking here. I think you can stake your FLDT, and you can earn on that. So the rewards over here. Okay, there it is right there. It's like 3% APR for liquid pool, 20%. Wow. That's closed for now. And then they have a locked pool at 6%. That's actually closed, but yeah, they're all kind of closed for right now. We'll see if they reopen them up. But you guys can check everything out here at fluidtokens.com. Here's the opening screen here. You can go to Cardano or go to Bitcoin. Again, Alchemist. You know, you guys don't run out of time here. Once it's done, it's done. You got 9 days. Earn diesel, earn dog, earn mist, earn moon. Shout out to Fluid Tokens.
Yes, sir.
All right. And that was your Fluid Friday. All right, let's jump into some more stuff here. So I do have a lot here left to go in through. All right, so Solana apps bring Pokemon cards to Web3. We do know that there is an app over on Polygon Matic. It's called Courtyard. So basically, this company, they actually just kind of did what Courtyard's doing. I wouldn't call it like complete fake, but this is on Solana, and I am somebody who actually uses Solana. I don't use Polygon Matic, so for me, this is absolutely huge. If you go to Marketplace here, you can kind of see they got Pokemon cards that you can buy. Some are valued in dollars or USDC, and then some of them are valued in Solana. So you see right here, so this one is in Solana. So I was actually looking at this today. Me and Yago B were kind of messing around with it, and it's actually really, really cool type of stuff. They do have this thing called vending machines. If you go with a collector, you'll see the vending machines. I think it's where is it? Oh yeah, the founders are docs and everything. So that's pretty
cool. I mean, this is the future, dude. This is the future. Like, these are legitimate businesses. I'm very familiar with this industry. As most of our close community members know, you know, my family has been deep into this industry and had very much success here. And for me to see the second company to go full force into this gives me so much joy and like excitement for the future of our industry in general, because this is legitimate businesses that are here to make profit, but also offer a product that has sustainable value. You know what I mean? So this is big. Expect more to come, and yeah, I love this.
Yeah, I'm gonna sign in here and kind of get you guys a full of what's going on. So they do have, you can deposit cards. That's pretty cool. Missing contact email, my account. Oh wow. So yeah, you can deposit cards. That's pretty cool. Around.
It's so genius that they're offering the option for USDC or Solana for the seller, because maybe I don't want Solana because maybe I'm worried about the volatility. I want to sell my card in USDC. I know what the eBay market value goes for it on the floor. I want to sell it for $3,000 USDC, or maybe I want to sell it for $3,000 of value in Solana because I see Solana going up in the next 3 months. You get what I'm saying? So this is opportunity and, you know, a little risk involved, but not, you don't have to. You can take the USDC. You know what I'm saying? So this approach is going to be more and more popular as these two industries were destined to cross because, you know, collectibles, NFTs, you know, I will say the last NFT bull run did burn a lot of people in this industry, as I know. You know, I know them. And so they had PTSD, but now that there's regulation, now that there's all these things, they feel more comfortable of joining in, and they feel like they can be protected more.
Yeah, man, 100%. And I don't know. I got the vending machine over here, man. $50. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be playing this later. This guys, we have no partnership with these guys at all. This is just something that I found, and it seems really interesting. But the one thing, so the couple things that I really want, and I want a Charizard. I want a 99 Charizard. Like that's always kind of been like my thing here in 2016. But they're like,
how much do they go for?
Extremely. Oh my god, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. I mean, they go for a lot of money on eBay. But I would love one digitally where I can lock it in my ledger. I mean, obviously, this company being fully doxed, I'm not really worried about them custodying it for me. But here's the 2021 number. I didn't even know they made Charizards in 2021. But yeah, I don't want that. But yeah, maybe if I put up here 1999, something might come up. Let me see. One.
How much does it go for?
It's not listed.
Not for sale yet.
No, let's go 2000.
I mean, this is, dude. This is if you were wondering if crypto is going to stick around, or you know, this is the clearest sign that we have up to date in terms of a normalized market. I mean, coming into crypto, guys. I mean, this is eBay for cards on crypto. Yeah. I mean, like what? Obviously, straight marketplace. You're not doing bids. That will probably come. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, bids are coming. I'm sure they are. I'm sure I can put an offer in already. Maybe not. Let me see. Make an offer. I can make an offer.
Yeah, so eBay is probably starting to either shake in their boots, or they're going to say we're coming along. Could
you imagine if eBay goes digital?
They will. They
start custodying those items.
Dude, they will have to. They will have to. I think they will have to give the option to their sellers, because you know what I mean. Like, imagine if you could sell your stuff in Bitcoin right now at $100,000, and Bitcoin's going to $1 million in 5 years, 6 years. And you sold all that stuff in Bitcoin, you know what I mean? So it's just the industry is changing, the society is changing, the financial system is changing. This is a great sign for that. I sent this to my family already. I was like, this is the second company. This is the second company that's over here. I mean, yeah, I mean, like opportunity is there.
Let's go check out basketball.
So now you're all sucked into this. Oh, dude.
Well, it's just fun.
How much is that Jordan?
Where right here?
Yeah,
43 Solana. What's that? That's a lot of money.
43
like
times what?
200? 10 grand.
Okay, so 10 grand's a PSA 8. That's why.
Yeah, like 9 grand. Yeah, PSA 8.
Yeah, 10s go for a lot.
Yeah. Dennis Rodman going for only $100. You can get a Dennis Rodman rookie for $100.
PSA 9. Yeah. I became a snob when because my brother's big in this space, and so he got me into it, and I became a host on one of these sites to do this. I became a snob. I didn't want anything besides a 10, unless it was like an OG card that was like a 9 is like amazing.
Yeah.
But like for example, so you got to learn the industry too. Like that one on the left is actually like really sought after, even though it's not a rookie. It's a 1993 Topps Finest refractor.
Yeah.
So that is people. If you get a 10 of that piece, because it's hard to get a 10 because it's a refractor thick card. If you get a 10 of that, it's worth multiple thousands.
Yeah. Really, really awesome. Really, really cool. Stan had a couple questions here. He said, Steve Jobs stated Apple's financial uptick happened when they embraced design, software, hardware. Does crypto need a hardware fix? Hardware fix? You mean like the
Solana Staker? He's the one that kept talking about the Solana Staker.
Okay. And then he says the channel's been spot on with legit projects. Will the channel mind sharing red flags of possible rug pulls?
Red flags. Staying anonymous is becoming more and more of a red flag.
Stay away from that. Yeah.
Yeah, staying anonymous.
I got one. Any
Okay.
stable coin and any stable coin that does not have a license or does not have a plan to get a license. So in the future with the new Genius Act, basically any stable coin does not license in the US cannot trade in the US. So that's the thing. So if I am very bearish on every stable coin right now that is not USDC, USDT, US or PYUSD. If it's not any of the large players, stay away from stable coins. Stay away from them completely.
Yeah, and then I would say not delivering on deliverables, right? Not following through on deliverables consistently. Obviously, if there's like something that is a serious situation that occurs, you just have to address it. So those type of just you got to follow through. That's what it comes to. And that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, Stan says when the next bull run happens and the channel scores big, what's life after crypto for the channel? There is no life after crypto, Stan. This is everything, man. Their goal is to put more people in positions to make content for the channel. So we want eventually to have 3-4 shows running throughout the day. That's kind of what it is. We want to hire people. We want to
give them an opportunity for success as well. That's the whole
we want to be like a coin desk as well. We want our website. We want researchers. We want like a whole bunch of stuff. So there really is no end game in sight for this channel. It's we're in it for the long run here. But yeah, man. All right. So I do have a couple more topics here.
Yep.
Tether mints 2 billion USDT over the weekend. Some on BNB, some on Tron, some on Ethereum. But I mean, just over the last couple of days, Tether minted 2 billion. These are big boy stuff now. We saw 100 million was normal. Now 2 billion is becoming very normal for Tether to just be printing right now.
Yeah, $2 billion is it's almost kind of like there's like tit for tat coming out, right?
Yeah.
Like USDC mints 200 million on Solana. Tether says, "All right, hold my beer. I got 2 billion USDT coming out on." Where are they minting this, by the way? Tron,
BNB, and Ethereum.
Okay,
that's kind of where it's been the last couple of days, anyway. But if you guys go to CoinMarketCap and then check stable coins. Tether is just far and above everyone else. There's no one even anywhere near them. Let me show this. This is it right here. You got circulating supply 163 billion, and then USDC is they're still off about a billy there. So yes, they have along with not a billy. They're off about a trillion. Wait, no, 163 billion. Okay, it's about $100 billion off of Tether, and then you do have Athena and DAI kind of competing for that third and fourth spots. I do see PayPal USD actually becoming third here. I think PayPal USD is going to be something. They're going bigger in the space for sure. Every Venmo customer is going to have PYUSD and not even know it.
Yeah, I mean the PayPal USD, right?
Yeah.
So they've been planning this for a long time, right? So
100%.
And remember, there's a phrase or a group of people named the PayPal Mafia for a reason. So when they're genius people, some of them you might call evil, some of them you might call heroic. But at the end of the day, they were like a very formidable and strong and smart team. And I don't think that culture left PayPal. And so because of that, I think PayPal is a top fintech company. And I think they think very strategically ahead of time, and they'll be around. They'll be one of the fintech companies that made the right decision early and took a risk and rolled some dice, stayed behind the scenes, but they were doing things even though regulation wasn't there.
Innovate or die, man. Innovate or die. That's kind of, you only have 2 options in tech. Injective tokenizes shares of Sharplink, the second largest Ethereum treasury company, launching SBIT at the first tokenized digital asset. And then BlackRock, head of digital assets, leaves the company to join the second biggest Ethereum treasury company, Sharplink. So the head guy over at BlackRock, the head of digital assets, left BlackRock to join Sharplink. And then Injective, you can now go on chain and get some Sharplink stock. Pretty huge.
Pretty huge, but BlackRock has enough resources to replace him with someone extremely talented as well. BlackRock doesn't get it wrong very often.
But what did this guy? He left his nice, comfy job at BlackRock to jump on this.
More upside for him individually. You know what I mean? When you're at that level, I mean, how much more upside could you want? I guess, but like when you're at a I don't know if he was considered C-suite, but if he's not, he's right underneath it. He's a high level
digital assets.
He's a high, like a very high level executive position. So we're thinking high six figures, right? Maybe millions. You don't know. But what does he get when he goes to Sharplink? They might offer him some equity, and if he gets equity there, then I think 10% equity of Sharplink after they acquired that much Ethereum is extremely juicy.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's definitely you leave it for opportunity, right? Especially if you want to stay in crypto. Sharplink does seem to be doing something with blockchain technology as well. I don't think just investing in Ethereum and staking it is kind of like their game plan. I think they're actually building games now using the blockchain. And I've always said that. I don't think crypto gaming comes from crypto. I think it comes from the outside, and I think it comes from companies like Rockstar, companies like who build World of Warcraft and stuff like that. I think they adopt crypto instead the other way, and it does seem like potentially these guys here over at Sharplink could be doing something pretty cool too. Imagine that. Imagine them putting out a game that's a block-based with skins and stuff like that, where you can go and marketplace and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, all right, let's get into our next segment here. So every week we like to have our good friends over at Emblem Vault join the show. Today we got the amazing Jake Gallen. Emblem Vault, these guys are building some pretty amazing stuff. First they started with the jumping feature where you're able to jump your ordinals, NFTs from chain to chain to chain. Right now there really isn't a lot of bridges where you can go and you can jump your assets from one chain to another very quickly, like you can with Emblem Vault, and that should be dropping later this year. And then they have Agent Hustle. Agent Hustle, I don't know if you've seen the chart, but Agent Hustle has been on absolutely tear. Congratulations to those guys there. And then they also have Migrate.fun. Migrate.fun is your way if you want to take your pool from, let's just say, Pump.fun over to Bonk.fun. You can do that. If you want to take it over to Jupiter or wherever, you can now take your pool that it was once locked, and you can actually migrate the tokens and actually get a different token contract and actually be a part of something where you can actually use that Solana that's been trapped in Pump.fun for months and months and months. So now you're able to utilize that as a team and stuff like that. So really excited for Migrate.fun. And then, going back to Agent Hustle, I mean, one-stop shop, right? If you need anything, you go to agenthustle.ai and you can ask anything. Really excited for what they're building with Agent Hustle.
Absolutely, man. And not just if you want to, migrate to Bonk, but like if you want to migrate to, like you said, just an LP, Radium LP, or, have control of the success of your token, because I think a lot of projects, especially utility ones, don't realize that you don't have as much control. You don't have very much control over the success of your token whenever you're locked into one of those launch pads that lock up the liquidity and stuff like that. So really excited to get into that with Jake and congratulate him and his team, because they've done an outstanding job of bringing attention to that pain point and also just upgrading hustle in general.
100%. Couldn't agree more. So without further ado, let's bring him up. Jake, welcome back to OnChain Revolution. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Happy Friday, guys. Man, it's been it's crazy that we started building Migrate Fund just a month ago, and it feels like it's been literally a year at this point. It has been a wild ride, to say the least. But yeah, lots of attention, a lot of speculation as well. Although if everybody had been watching the Emblem Hour every Friday, they would have known that this was coming, actually.
Absolutely. I got messages, and so did Shizzy, actually. They're like, hey, we saw, where can we get the full interview with Jake? And all, I was like, well, if you just tune in every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, you can get, straight from, the horse's mouth there. But everybody's excited about the, Migrate.fun, but just the opportunity in terms of solving this pain point that apparently is a lot larger than we initially thought.
It's very large. Yeah. I mean, Right. We built Migrate.fun out of necessity. And Adam is on the stream. I also shared this. We'll see how many people join now that there's like a lot of attention on the platform. But we built this out of necessity, and we also built it out of experience. The Emblem team has gone through 4 to 5 migrations ourselves over the past decade, between migrating fungible token from a layer 1 blockchain to Counterparty in 2016, Counterparty to ETH, ERC20 in 2019, and then the Keys migration, which is actually still ongoing, from ERC20 to Runes on Bitcoin. And then we did the Emblem Vault V1 to Emblem 2.0 migration of 50,000 NFTs to 60 smart contracts, right? And so then this migration from Tensorium to Agent Hustle was on Solana. So it's a brand new experience on Solana. And with that, presented a lot of pain points because of this kind of meme coin frenzy, which is that when you launch on Pump.fun, you get these kind of short-term benefits of immediate volatility, immediate interest, and attention. But over time, after about 3-4 months, you realize that you don't have control of the liquidity pool, you have no token supply, and it's immutable metadata, so you can't rebrand. And what we had seen over the last few months recently was that a lot of AI projects that were similar in our position began closing up shop because they didn't have runway. So in the lifespan of every project, there's always going to be a few kind of moments of truth where you say, something has to be done now or this is going to end very soon. And that moment was closing in very fast on us. And we had to make a decision. And so we decided to build a migration, which generally is quite controversial. But once you get into the weeds, you realize that it's actually something that everybody wants to do. Because at the end of the day, everyone just wants number to go up. And if you say migration, people, renews interest because they're like, oh, shit, the number might go up again at some point in time if we participate. So we built the platform we built the I guess you would say the protocol to migrate. And then we were like, hey, let's turn this into a project because I'm sure there's literally dozens of people interested in this. Turns out it's hundreds of teams from all across different areas. I would say the primary communities is definitely the AI community for sure. But then after that, a bunch of meme coins and actually some kind of large projects as well who locked their LP for a variety of reasons, whether it's they were given bad advice on how to set up the liquidity pool, to kind of circumstances of the moment, to where the community pressured them to lock up the liquidity pool. And for others, they just want a fresh start. I mean, the one kind of most overlooked aspects of this is that you get a brand new chart. And with a brand new chart comes a whole new beginning. And for 90% of people who didn't know about your project, they'll look at the token and think it's a brand new token. They don't know about the past history itself, which generally becomes quite beneficial, especially for a bunch of these traders who are not looking at Twitter accounts and history. They're just looking at literally the candles on a chart.
Yeah. And I think there definitely needs to be more education when it comes to tokenomics and how price action is affected by that, right? Because I think community, we're going to move into a phase to where we get away from so much of that like anonymous, like founder mode and stuff, to where you don't have to worry about locking up liquidity and all that stuff because the team is doxxed. If something goes wrong, they're going to answer to it, right? And so now you can explain, hey, look, you wonder why Tensor had an issue with the project seemed way above what the market cap was reflecting. Well, we didn't have the controls to really, take the punches of some of these early whales from Pump.fun that were just like beating up the market cap by just constantly trading that range, right? But what you get is more control back to say, hey, we don't want to beat up the market cap. We want a strong market cap so we can add to the liquidity that way. We can take away whatever you need to do when the market condition is correct. Did I get that correct?
Yeah, you kind of answered two kind of pain points from every community. And it generally answers the when crowd, right? The people who come into the chat and say when marketing, when tokenomics. Well, you can't do when marketing if you don't have a treasury. If you don't have funds for the project, you literally can't fund marketing. And I mean, granted, 95% of the when marketing crowd is really just can devs do something and make the number go up? That's like the majority of them. And then the other kind of percentage actually just has terrible advice of paying KOLs, which generally does not go well either. But then from the when tokenomics crowd, if you're not getting liquidity pool rewards, then the team is not incentivized to build a tokenomic structure where it's encouraging transactional volume. Because if I'm getting 0.3% of the trading fees, then I want to encourage as much trading as possible because I'm generating fees. For example, with this migration, we've generated as a team about $15,000 in revenue in the last 24 hours. And if that was locked in the Pump.fun pool, then we don't have access to that. So we now have $15,000 that goes to funding operations. And, eventually that becomes a permanent source of revenue. And another aspect of managing liquidity pool is that some issues that we're finding. So just for example, we've talked to personally about 50 to 60 different teams. These are between calls and Telegram chats and whatever. There's probably 10 to 20% of these teams who are in a situation where the liquidity depth is too deep compared to the market cap. And what I mean by that is from the general efficiency or trading efficiency conversations I've had with market makers and traders and teams and such, you want generally about a 10% to 30% ratio of liquidity to market cap. So if my market cap is $1 million, you want 100,000 to 300,000 liquidity. Once you get above this 30% mark, the liquidity depth becomes so thick that it takes so much more price movement to move the chart up or down. It essentially becomes stuck in this price range forever. And you see this happening to a lot of charts. And so if you don't have access to the liquidity pool to remove liquidity, then that just keeps building up. And that's what happens to some of these Pump.fun tokens, because all of the revenue from liquidity pool just gets auto compounded into the liquidity pool and it's locked. So it becomes way too thick and essentially the price can never move. And so there are a lot of teams who've reached out to us to help with that. Now, granted, kind of final point here, granted is that for the majority of teams, maybe they're not at the level of sophistication to where they know how to manage a liquidity pool. And so I'm not discrediting Launchpads in the way that locking LP is probably good for some. It's not good for everybody. And we've had this conversation about how the Solana ecosystem incentivizes locking liquidity pool and applying and distributing your token supply across many wallets. So for example, today I went to apply for the Moonshot listing. You have to have over 1 million in volume to even do that. In order to apply, you have to distribute your entire treasury across multiple wallets. So we had 15% supply in a wallet, and I had to separate it into 5 to 10 wallets because that is their requirement. I think it's very dishonest to do that. I don't think it's right for the community to have to do that, but this is the requirements that the community incentivizes and that they want. It's just highly optimized for meme coin trading. And so I don't agree with that, but it's what you have to do to essentially play the game. And so we're hoping with Migrate Fund that we can really change the Solana ecosystem and the way that they view tokens and help optimize for the builders, because that is definitely what we're optimizing for, is those teams and communities. It doesn't have to be a utility project. It could be a meme coin community who has a long-term vision and that they want to reward their community in a variety of ways. And so they're able to take back the liquidity and control of the capital that has flown through their project, which is rightfully theirs.
Yeah, 100%. And you guys give an opportunity to a lot of people who maybe don't even have the capital to even do like a migrate, right? Because it's not going to be easy to do that when you're like by yourself. I mean, you guys did it because you guys were able to basically fund your pool first and make sure everything was good, and then you were able to get that Solana out of the TNSR pool, which basically paid yourself back. But a lot of people won't be able to front that to kind of get that coin trading in the beginning. But you guys are going to be doing that, right? Is that kind of how that works?
Yeah, so the process is actually quite simple if you kind of step back or take a step back and don't focus too much on like the technicals. It's essentially a 4-step process. The creator will come to our platform and they will create a project. And when they create a project, what they do is they input the liquidity or the LP ID of the old pool. And so then it says, here's the statistics, here's what you need, or here's like the participation you need and the amount of SOL that can be recovered. The creator says, all right, cool, awesome, I'm down. Then you create a new token. So you put in the new token, ticker, the name, the metadata, and then there's a question that says, how long would you like the migration to run for? So we recommend no longer than 30 days. Of course, every situation is different, but generally after about 30 days, the interest in a migration tends to fade. And I'd say 90% or 80% of the migration volume comes from the first 3 days and the last 24 hours, really. And once they hit create, migrate portal, they're basically done until the very end when they have to click a few buttons. And then it's on the community and the creator to facilitate interest and support for the migration. So users will then come into this migration portal and they'll click a button, and they'll click a button that says max, and they'll take all their tokens and click migrate. And then they're done. And then after that, the migration timeline will tick down. Once the migration timeline is done, this is essentially an automated process for the most part. On the back end, the creator has a little bit of control. So once the timeline ends, the creator on the creator admin portal on the website, it'll say migration done. And it'll say, would you like to continue? And the creator will say yes. And then it'll market sell all of those tokens in the vault of the migration vault. So if I get 50% of the total supply locked in the vault, it'll sell 50% of the total supply in a single candle. Generally, it will recover anywhere between 80 to 90% of the total SOL in that pool. Once that SOL is recovered, the creator then clicks the next button and says, this amount of SOL has been recovered. Do you want to deploy the LP now? And the creator will click yes. And then it'll take that SOL and pair it with the new token to create the liquidity pool on either Radium or our Launchpad partners. And then, I should say Launchpad platforms. And then the liquidity pool will be created. And then if there are any remainder tokens, they will be returned to the team to decide what they want to do. And this kind of final point here, this is a little bit of the controversial aspect of migrations. Again, every team's different, so there's different requirements. So generally, a high turnout for migration is anywhere from, we'll say, 70 to 75% or 80%. That's like getting to like absolute kind of like all-time highs. For Tensorium, we had 78% of the tokens migrated, and then there was 7% of the supply in the liquidity pool. So you're saying 85% of the Tensorium that was available is essentially migrated over. That's like near all-time highs. And so sometimes there will be leftover tokens. And so these are for people who have not migrated because they missed a window for whatever the reason is. You can kind of go one of four ways. You can take the unclaimed tokens and move them to the team treasury to fund operations. You can I guess, airdrop the remainder tokens to the community members on a scale. For some people, they did a pre-sale, so they need to be able to ensure that all the pre-sale holders got the token because there was a primary sale, right? There's legal liability there. For others who launched on Pump.fun, there was no pre-sale, right? So there's a little bit of a different situation there. We created a snapshot and airdrop tool where you could take a snapshot of the holders who did not migrate, and you can airdrop them on a 1% to 100% scale. So if you say, hey, all late migrators are only going to get 25% value of their tokens, you basically use that tool, and the creator will literally it's a few buttons, clicks on the back end, and then you just airdrop those to the owners, and then you're done. And then you're ready to trade, and everyone continues to move on with their situation. And for a lot of people, this is very appealing because it's a fresh start and that you get the liquidity, and more importantly, re-energizes the community that for 90% of the projects is generally dead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Real quick too, I just want to talk about the elephant in the room here, which was your price was just down, and then all of a sudden it's been absolutely awesome. So the migration definitely helped you guys. It helped you guys in a lot of different ways, but obviously you guys were down around 2.5 million, and just as of the 23rd, you guys were on this uptick. I've been following this the entire way, as you can see. You got the Sally, the camel with the 3 humps. That this is a pattern that
He's trying to
much,
copy.
dude.
He's trying to
Dude,
trademark this
I'm
pattern.
telling you, bro. Sally the camel with the
humps,
3
dude.
humps, bro. So you got the humps, and then you got the neck, right, and then you got the face. And normally what happens is Sally the camel is going to rip up. This is not financial advice, it's just kind of what I've been seeing in the markets. But you guys broke out of this triangle here. Now you guys are kind of doing the retest. But I know you guys don't care about price at all. But price is kind of what.
Oh, we care about price. I mean, it funds operations, but as a long-term builder, you know, whether the price is 2 million or 15 million, you can't let it affect the quality of your work. I would say more of like a clarification to that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, look, dude, it's obviously shown the importance of tokenomics, because I think for the people listening in, again, we're moving out of the anonymous phase. So you don't, for a project that is, you know, they've doxed themselves, you know, who their leaders are, all these things. Locking up liquidity isn't that big of a deal, because you know they're going to be answering questions for if something happens with that. Now, being able to have access to liquidity we're going into a bull market, right? Like that's what most people are thinking for Q4. Why would you want to have a liquidity pool so thick that it's going to hard for number to go up, technology to come into play? You know, you want to be smart about these things, but also just not number go up, plus the technology backs it up here. So I'm, you know, speaking about hustle specifically, but I had a question kind of a little bit not related to the Sally the camel here.
I mean, we could talk about price. That's fine if you want.
Well, this is an interesting question that I have, because you know, some of these projects that get abandoned at like $1 to $3 million or 800,000 to like 2 million, they get CTO'd. Like, how would that work? If someone's like, okay, I want a CTO and help this community out, like, would there be like a voting process? Would the voting process be, in fact, people sending their tokens in? And if you get enough, or what would that look like for a CTO?
There's actually no difference whether it's a CTO project, a project owner. We try to interface and communicate with what's considered the project leader, whether that's a CTO group, an individual, you know, a team, a protocol, whatever. The process is the same. There is no verification. You don't need there's no on-chain verification. You don't need to be the deployer to start it. This is where kind of vampire attack, you know, gamification comes in. Like, for example, if I just wanted to extract liquidity from Fartcoin, I could just spin up a Fartcoin migration portal. And if I only need 5%, you know, if 5% of Fartcoin people or tokens are migrated, you could probably, you know, sell, or you could probably nuke the chart like 20-30% and then take that liquidity and start your own. You call it Fartcoin 2 or whatever you want, right? So that's kind of a CTO on liquidity itself. And, you know, I think that is probably a later narrative for Migrate Fund once it gets a lot more mainstream traction. But we are in conversations with many CTO projects actually who want this, right? Because they took over the project. There's situations where like the dev is still, you know, getting
the benefits
and such, and they don't want that. And maybe the community has branded or created a new meme within the community that they kind of want to create. But going back to the chart, if you want to pull the chart back up here for a second.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of like what I want to point out is managing the liquidity pool. So when the chart started running up yesterday at around, I think it was like a $13 million market cap, I added another 75,000 to the liquidity pool. And so this is kind of, so this is smart metrics, or this is smart liquidity pool management, right? So it's like, you want that volatile candle, but then you don't want the whales to then nuke the chart immediately. So what you want to do is essentially put padding underneath large price increases. And that seems to be working, to be completely honest, right? Because you're going to get this new wave of people, every kind of major consolidation phase upwards. And once that kind of settles, you want to add more liquidity there, so that the older holders have an opportunity to exit, but then because you want supply to be distributed, right? You don't want this thing to go straight up to where the majority of people who bought in at $1 million market cap are still holding at 100 million, right? You want that supply to be distributed. And so they need liquidity to distribute into. And so that's why you have to put more liquidity into these kind of consolidation periods. So that's kind of like a definition of smart liquidity management. And, we'll continue to do these management practices as, the token continues to trend higher, as more utilities announced, as more interest comes to the project. We'll continue to do that. And you cannot do this with a locked liquidity pool. Like that's not possible, right? So these are the kind of aspects that are available. And so this for most projects, right? They're either interested in migrating to Pump.fun is the big inquiry. But also a lot of the larger projects themselves, like the majority of projects who've reached out that are over, I would say all projects who've reached out who are over 10 million prefer to go to migrate to Iridium CPMM because they want 100% control of the liquidity pool. It's generally once you start getting into the like $5 to $10 million market cap range and lower, the majority of teams want to migrate to Pump.fun because they're generally newer creators, newer builders, CTO type communities, and they want to migrate to Pump.fun because Pump.fun is not supporting, individualized or specialized treatment. And they want that kind of meme coin community mindshare that's happening over on Pump.fun. And Pump.fun has hinted that they're going to be supporting the creators, and they've done a handful of different meme coin contests and so I guess you could say like LP rewards and different types of campaigns to show that they are there to support the individual communities. So for people who are interested in migrating to through Migrate Fund, it's a question that I present the majority of people. There's positives and negatives to both sides to the aisle, right? Migrating to your individual pool where you get 100% control of the LP, but there's a lot more administrative work. There's a lot more upkeep costs. There's a lot more liquidity management that has to happen. Or do you go to Pump.fun where the administrative stuff is essentially handled for the most part, and you get community support, but the LP is locked, but you still get a portion of those LP fees as well, right? So it's just something to consider depending on each community. And I think now after talking to about 60 different teams, I kind of have a firm understanding of what
type of projects want this and what type of projects want that. Because like I think the meme coin meta kind of works for which was the intention for these these launch pads anyways. It works for that because you're not thinking about runway as much. You're like, okay, community is what it is. It's just building community, building that momentum with your community. Let Pump.fun take over the administrative process. I don't have to manage the LP. It's already managed there. It's kind of set it and forget it. I get 1-2%, whatever they're getting of the LP rewards. I can live with that. I can use that for the project or whatever. But if I'm an AI project or if I am a utility project, I'm thinking about runway. I got to pay my staff. I got to pay my developers. I got to pay this and that. You want full control. You're willing to hire someone to manage that LP or do it yourself, right?
Yeah, that's 90% correct directionally. I'm sure there's a bunch of different situations as well. There's some things vary depending on the liquidity pool. Some people are migrating from Pump.fun Radium, some are migrating from PumpSwap, and then some from Meteora. And we're starting to get some inquiries from the Believe app ecosystem, which is Believe that uses Meteora. It seems like that's ecosystem is having a lot of trouble supporting their creators, or the creators are having trouble communicating with the founder for whatever their wants and needs are. The Pump.fun thing is pretty direct. Right now, everyone hates Pump.fun. I think the majority of people do. And it's starting to lose mind share. And Pump.fun's done a great job, curating a very welcoming community from a grassroots movement. I think this is why Migrate Fund, Pump.fun, and Radium have very similar values, because they're all kind of grassroots protocols who were there in the very beginning stages, right? Radium was kind of the first AMM on Solana that got a lot of major traction. Pump.fun obviously being the first meme coin. on Solana to gain major traction. And then, Emblem Vault's been here since 2016 without any VC funding for almost 10 years. And it's just been a grassroots movement since the beginning. So, with that type of idea, the visions are very aligned. And we've spoken with a lot of other teams outside of just those as well who've reached out. And I suspect next month when we have our first kind of grouping, we're calling it the first cohort to go live, I suspect that there will be a lot other interest from a lot larger players from all chains and from all types of institutions who are going to want to learn more about this, because it can really be a main character. A lot of people have been saying to me recently that this has main character vibes. Well, I'm calling it main character, but they said this could be like a really big thing, because it's right in the middle of a turf war, essentially, right? Between Pump.fun and between Radium and Bonk.fun and Believe App and what else is there? Oh, Jupiter and Meteora, right? There's like a three-headed monster between Jupiter, who owns Meteora and Moonshot. You have Radium that has who has Launchpad, and then you have Bonk.fun, who's the front end or the main winner for the Launchpad itself, right? And so this being in the kind of middle of that, it could get a great narrative. I would say, honestly, the probably the best narrative you would want it to be is people to start saying that it's a vampire attack on Pump.fun liquidity. That probably gets the most eyeballs if you get the right people saying it and kind of promoting that idea. Because with this, with migrations, there comes some controversy, right? Vampire attacks have controversy. People who miss the migration window has some controversy, the kind of rush aspect of it in certain areas. And but on the other side of it, there's just so many beautiful aspects of this with builders and creators who get to have a fresh start. They get to control their liquidity, and they get to align themselves within communities that best represent, their current ideals. Because when you're locking the LP, you're essentially saying that a project has no ability to evolve over time and that it's going to stay static in its current image. And for 99% of projects, that's just not the case.
Yeah, I 100% agree. 100%. I'm curious. So now you have you're head of like 3 different companies right now, right? With a potential fourth coming down the line. What excites you about each of them? Migrate.fun, Agent Hustle, and the jumping from asset to asset, the Emblem Vault itself. What excites you about each of them? If you can kind of just curious.
Yeah, I would say the main kind of overarching focus or feeling of it is that Emblem as a protocol and a brand is evolving to become essentially a curator of cross-chain applications, which is something that we had been internally discussing for a few years. And now it's actually reality, right? Emblem Vault or Emblem Vision, right, is the NFT bridge application of Emblem Vault.
Gotcha.
Agent Hustle is the multi-chain AI assistant application, which uses Emblem Vault, right? And then Migrate.fun is a token migration platform that uses vaults. So it's using all the technology at the end of the day. And all of these will inherently be multi-chain, and majority of them are multi-chain now because of the Emblem Vault's infrastructure. And we had, as I've mentioned on the show many months ago, that there is a fourth application that you hinted at that is coming at some point towards the end, which is much more in line with the NFT kind of NFT bridge ecosystem. Emblem Vault, I put this post out yesterday, but if you look at each kind of protocol themselves, I'll start with Migrate.fun, I guess, because that's the new one. I think because it's on Solana and it has to do with migrations, and there's a little bit of a controversial aspect to it, but an even better reward offering or bright future type narrative to it, I think this brings in the most attention from anything. Solana is a very attention-starved or attention-driven ecosystem. It's very similar to kind of Silicon Valley type vibes. It's like very move fast, break things, heavily subsidized in VC funding. And it's all about revenues and driving mind share over kind of anything else. And so with Migrate.fun, that really attacks kind of both of those narratives, as well as could bring a substantial amount of revenue to the company itself, which is what we want to do, is to scale, which without VC funding ourselves, right, has been somewhat of an issue. Agent Hustle, is probably, I would say, like the cream of it all. You could say Migrate Fund is the Trojan horse to Agent Hustle itself. We're very, very long and very, very bullish on AI agents, the crossover of AI agents and crypto being literally the kind of pinnacle of it, because there's like over 1 billion people in the world who are subscribed to a monthly LLM service, whether it's ChatGPT or Llama or Anthropic or whatever, where you have like somewhere between 30 to 50 million people per month using crypto, majority of those people using exchanges and not being on chain. So the majority of new people coming to crypto are going to be using AI in some capacity. And so their entry point is going to be something like Agent Hustle. And those are the type of people that we're building for. And I'm getting, a lot of messages from people just saying how incredible the technology is and how it suits them more, because they're not the photon type trader or Axiom who sits there and clicks buttons all day. Like, they have lives, they have families, and they want to participate in the on-chain economy, but they can't sit at their computer all day. And so, being able to have a conditional engine, or being able to sit there and ask, what people consider dumb questions, but to a newbie, they have no idea what to do. Like, that to me is like very self-fulfilling. It feels very rewarding, because you're really helping people understand crypto and helping them make money and really understand the economy. So I would say that that's really what I'm proud of there. And right now it's considered, I personally consider it the top AI agent on Solana. It was really between that and Griffin. Griffin's kind of fallen off a little bit. No shade to them, but we have over now 100 daily active users again. We've built a bunch of tooling. Since we launched V3, we've had about 600 unique active users. The volume's increased now. Since we launched V3 last week, we're averaging over $10,000 a day in trading volume itself, which seems low, but the sizing of the trades are starting to increase. I'm seeing a lot more 1 SOL, 2 SOL, 3 SOL trades. So people are feeling more confident using it, which is exactly what you need for a platform. Because our main issue in the very beginning when we launched V2 in March was that the average trade side was like $15. Now the average trade side is like getting close to $100, which
Nice.
Is what you need for sustainable revenue. And then add different types of tokenomics to it, which we're going to be doing. And so to kind of wrap both of those up, I think we might be the first or some of the earliest to take a token and utilize it in 2 different applications. I don't know of any crypto project where one token is used in 2 different applications. And so Hustle is going to be the token for Migrate Fund, and it's going to be the token for Agent Hustle. So we're also taking on a new kind of venture, which is generally what we tend to do itself. Now I'm ending with Emblem Vision or Emblem Vault, because Emblem Vision or Emblem Vault, this idea of an NFT bridge is a very boring idea, right? Like it's something that we've been building and Shan's been building for over 10 years at this point. And it doesn't make sense now, but I actually think this is the largest product of them all. This Emblem, the idea of an NFT bridge, to me, is probably one of the most valuable companies in the industry. I said this when I joined the company 3 years ago, and I firmly believe it even more today, because what Emblem Vault is as an NFT bridge is very similar to what Amazon is, or it's very similar to what UPS is, or what an international shipping service is. You take an asset, an NFT item. This could be Bitcoin. This could be a CryptoPunk. This could be an SMB generation. It could be whatever chain that you want. You put it inside of a vault, which is an NFT, and then you ship it from one blockchain, Bitcoin, to ETH, or you take your CryptoPunk from ETH and take it to Solana, right? Or you take your OMB from Bitcoin, you take it to Base. And that idea is very boring. But when you think about the ramifications of this in the real world, the domestic and international shipping industry, global GDP is 7.5% of global GDP, which comes out to close to $10 trillion a year. So you're saying literally the global economy, 10% of that is import and export. That's exactly what Emblem Vault is, import and export. So you could see a future 10 years from now where interoperability is frictionless across the crypto economy, and people are just frictionlessly moving assets across chains. And Emblem Vault's currently the only one that could do that for NFTs, and I suspect it's probably going to be the only one for quite a while until the idea becomes very obvious, and at that point, it's probably over. And so at that point in time, if you could see tens of thousands of vaults being issued across chain per day, at a $20 vaulting fee, or when we have our discount program with keys at a lesser value. But you could see that revenue really piling up, and that's why I think that's going to be the most valuable. But ultimately, it's going to be a long time before we get to that vision. And so the focus really is on right now Agent Hustle Migrate Fund, because that's kind of where the interest is. It's the shiny new thing. It has the biggest ramifications. But building out the Emblem Vault vision is kind of this thing that's happening on the back end. And we're making sure that happens through these applications for participation, because that's kind of where the crypto industry is now. People hate infrastructure. The newbies, they don't like infrastructure. They don't understand it, nor do they need to understand it. But what they do want is shiny things. They do want AI. They do want attention. And so if we could kind of perpetuate the Emblem Vault technology through these kind of shiny applications, then we get closer to that interoperable future where Emblem is essentially a shipping layer of crypto.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm really excited for Emblem's future, because I think this was a long time. You guys are coming into the stretch to where like the momentum is building up, and it's a long time coming, in my opinion. But I think you guys were just trying to figure out how to put your chess pieces in the right places, right? And everybody's in the right spot. You're the CEO. You were named that, this past year or this last year. And then, you have the other people that are really good at what they do, the marketing side with Adam, and you got Chris, and you got Shannon just kind of says, okay, let me just do what I'm best at, right? Build in the background. And then you have your AI team now. So I just think this is a long time coming. I'm so happy for you guys. Shizzy actually yesterday, when we were talking about the hustle price action, he goes, man, the one thing is I'm so happy for Jake and them. They've been grinding this entire time, and they're hitting stride like no other team possibly in crypto right now. And so congrats to that. But I do want to get to some comments here, because we got some comments for you. Stan is a big fan of you and the team. He says, congrats, Agent Hustle. Does the team compile demographic data? If so, what's the general profile of users for Hustle?
I first this every week.
I feel like
45-year-old unemployed overweight man. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I appreciate Stan, because he's very consistent on the Emblem Hour. So we actually did just build a tracking system for Agent Hustle, and the reason why we had to build this was for subscriptions and referrals and our B2B side of things, which we actually do have a very large B2B partner, hopefully launching next month, which I think will catch a lot of people by surprise. Hopefully perpetuate the idea of Agent Hustle as an AI router. We don't have demographic right now. What we have is kind of the information on what the users are doing on platform. So what's the cost per user based on the prompting? What's the average request? What are the most common tools being used? What user is using what tool? How much overall cost is coming to the day? So really kind of numerical values. I'm sure demographic would be something that we'd want to add, but we just don't currently have it in our internal tracking system. When we were using PostHog previously, which is a third-party tracking service, the demographic was overwhelmingly United States, and then Europe was second, and then it was kind of dispersed into like Asia and Africa after that. From just personal anecdotes, I get a lot of people reaching out to me who are in Asia, actually. So a lot of people who live in Thailand and Korea and China who use the platform, who are English native speaking, although you can actually put any language you want as the input, and he can respond in any other language. So you can actually do that. It's mostly US based, but there is actually like an overwhelmingly increase in Asian interest and Asian users. And I see that because they reach out to me.
Gotcha. All right, Bro Toshi I can't ever say the second part. Squashaboto. It says
Squashiaboto.
Squashiaboto says, "Good morning, boys." And then we got Patapoo, one of our regulars here, says, "Hey, Jake, you think Rare Pepe's collection hype will ever come back? Appreciate you, true OG."
Yeah, of course. Rare Pepe is the Doge of NFTs. Rare Pepe is the best indicator. Rare Pepe is the best indicator for an NFT bull run. So like this last hype or this last run up on CryptoPunks and stuff that happened a week ago, I knew it was kind of going to be shortly sustained because the Rare Pepe volume hadn't picked up. Although there was a few Nakamoto card sales, so that's generally good signs. But really, I mean, if you really remember in 2021, like when Rare Pepe took off towards the end of 2021, that was when everything was like absolute kind of peak virality. And so I suspect that it's going to be very similar here, where it's not officially an NFT bull run until Rare Pepe start taking off. And the reason why is the collection is just so large and people love Rare Pepe that it takes a lot longer for Rare Pepe to get going. But once it does, there's so many sub-markets across 1,774 different cards that you literally get a much longer sustained bull run. That's why the Rare Pepe collection was trading for like 5 months on fire. It's because it was different cards trading for days at time. And people just basically take their liquidity of Rare Pepe and they just basically reinvest it into different cards in the ecosystem, which is very similar to like what, you know, ETH NFTs do, where it's like once CryptoPunks moves, that liquidity generally flows down to other NFT projects. With Rare Pepe, it generally all stays in the ecosystem because the Rare Pepe community is just so devout. It will go over to like Spells of Genesis at times as well, but the Rare Pepe community is just true OG, and it really invest in themselves and their own community, and so generally that liquidity stays within its own collection.
Gotcha. A couple more here, and we'll be done with the questions. I can't get to every single one of them, guys, but I'll get to every single person at least once. This one says, is the Solana founder aware of agents' immense value? If so, has the team engaged in conversation with the Solana execs?
We actually have a handful of community members who pinged Tolly daily to try to get him to engage. There's actually some like conversations that some community members are trying to get Tolly's attention through Time.fun to pitch him on Hustle. He doesn't respond really to it, which, you know, as a founder, you know, engaging in certain tokens and stuff, I completely understand. We have had a conversation with the Solana Foundation themselves, who had reached out about Agent Hustle. So I have a little bit more understanding of kind of their views. And again, a lot of these kind of, I guess you'd say, protocol leaders, foundations, stuff like that, they try to steer hard away from specific tokens themselves, and they try to focus on the products and where those kind of crossovers are. And it's a very kind of gray area about it. I think Tolly specifically, when he king made Griffin at the beginning of the AI run, and then Griffin's just completely kind of fallen off since then. It seems like he hasn't really engaged in any AI projects since, because he just got a bunch of crap for it. And honestly, if I was a founder or as a founder, I completely understand that. I can empathize with it. But being a literal, you know, blockchain founder of one of the top in the world, like, you just get so much shit thrown at you per day. It's probably not even recognizing it, to be honest.
Yeah.
You just got to try harder, right?
It's true. We just got to continue with the best way to get an attention of a Vitalik or a Tolly or somebody of that nature is you literally have to build in the ecosystem. You have to be successful product builders to where he literally can't look away from it, from the project or protocol itself, because it's so integrated into the ecosystem. Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do with Agent Hustle. And so if we get more protocols using Agent Hustle, integrating into their system, no doubt in my mind he's going to recognize it and probably reach out and just ask what the hell it is.
Yeah. And you got to imagine the last 6 months has not been easy for you guys. You know, you guys have been grinding to build this product up and show the value. But unfortunately, in our space, number go up technology, Adam always talks about that, is always looked at as like the first most important part, right?
It is.
So,
it is.
Yeah. I mean, it is. And that's the nature of the beast. We get it. But you don't get the credit for the actual work, right? Until you can align those things. And now, because you've been able to take control. So for the builders that are thinking about migrate.fun, this is a little plug for that, because think about it. Look, I mean, people are noticing all the hard work now that Hustle has been able, or what Hustle is as a product, because they've been able to align tokenomics with it. But there's so much that they built the last 6 months, you know, and they're getting the credit for it. They're getting their flowers, and they'll get more as time goes on. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. Real quick, the camel here has its face, so I'm expecting a blast off. I'm just saying, its face is in, bro. The face is in for the camel, and normally happens. And guys, I'm almost 100%. Go check all the camels. The 3 humps, the down, the neck, and the head. It usually blasts off. I mean, I'd be shocked if Monday morning this thing wasn't all above 20 million. That's just
the
my
all-time high for Tensorium was like 18 mil, so it's like pretty close to the actual all-time high.
Oh wow! So it actually topped out right at almost 18 million. So people are actually potentially charting.
So most people are probably. I'm glad for all the community members who've been holding over the last 6 months or so, and participate in the migration. I should clarify that. They paid attention. They stuck to the community, and a lot of them were down quite bad. A lot of people bought around the $10 million mark, $15 mark, and a lot of them double, triple, quadrupled down on the community when we even went below $1 million. There was a point where Tensorium was under $1 million for like over a week and got as low as $600,000.
Oh my god!
And there were a bunch of community members who were like, "This is just so extremely undervalued that there's no way I can't buy this." And so the majority of I can't wait to put the tweet out once it crosses 18 mil to say that every Tensorium or Hustle holder is now in profit. You know, it's a good feeling to say as a founder. And Hustle is the first token that I've launched as a founder, right? I joined Emblem in 2022 when they already had Koval. I'd never launched a token before that. So it's kind of my first foray as a project that I was involved with and created. And so it feels really good to reward, but the job's not done. There's literally so much more to go. We still got to have this. We still got to have a coming out party for migrate.fun next month. We have a very good and solid first B2B partner for Agent Hustle who's going to integrate it, and that should get a lot of attention there. And we're going to add some tokenomics to Agent Hustle. Obviously, we've mentioned this with subscriptions, like pay with Agent Hustle is one of them. And we do have some, and then with Migrate Fund, we're taking a portion of the revenues and buying back Hustle themselves. And once we get past this first cohort, we do have some ideas for Migrate.fun and Agent Hustle, more than just buybacks. I think they're actually quite attractive as well. But first and foremost, we just got to get through August, make sure that everything goes well. I've spoken about this literally for years at the behest of just getting absolutely lambasted by Koval holders that to have a successful token, you have to have a successful product. The product can exist without the token. The token cannot exist without the product. And it infuriates a lot of holders because they consider you not putting the token holders first. But in order to have successful tokenomics, you've got to make sure the product's there. You got to make sure that the users are there, because you want the tokens to be complementary to the product that exists. It should never be I'm making product decisions to try to pump the price. That's always how these products completely fail. So cool ideas for both of them. We do have some awesome ideas for Agent Hustle in the future as well, in terms of further integrating Hustle into some, I guess you would say, unique products that we would like to create with Agent Hustle. And yeah, move forward there. Really, really exciting time to be a Hustle holder. So drop in should be a good Q3 and Q4.
Yeah. And people aren't even thinking about the cross-chain aspect of, you know, for the audience out there that's listening, this is a cross-chain team, guys. I mean, a lot of their roots are in Bitcoin. And the fact that, you know, they've have a lot of experience in Ethereum, and that now they're having a lot of experience in Solana, that's the future. So to have a parent brand in Ethereum, which is going to have a parent brand token in the Rune, but also their products are going to live in Solana, EVM, Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's tech stacks come into Hustle, guys.
Yeah.
EVM's tech stack's coming to hustle. So this is the future. Anybody that thinks that you know, oh, my idea is to be siloed into this one chain because it's going to be the most successful, I think is doing it wrong. That's my personal opinion, because everything evolves in this world. Like if you go back to history, and so this is going to be no different in my opinion.
Yeah, cross-chain applications have always been the final boss. I've been saying this for years already at this point. It's just an ability to aggregate liquidity into a unified area. And to me, that's just such an obvious thing. It's taken a lot of people to kind of come around to it, but it seems like every ecosystem is now kind of finally channeling it forward. For Agent Hustle, kind of our next updates is we did fix the conditional engine, which is now hitting at about 100% efficiency. I've seen one failed trade in 2 days now since it's been live, which is really good. And the volumes on the platform are now showing good signs. We had to make some adjustments to the toolbox itself, and we're going to have to definitely put some more education out about it. But toolbox is working pretty well, and we just upgraded its memories. Now you can actually see the memories that are saved, which I think is really important. Next then is we're making some LP integrations, so adding Meteora, and making sure all the LP aspects are optimized, because our first B2B partner is very heavily involved with liquidity mechanics themselves on Solana. And then it's EVM and Bitcoin expansion. That's like literally the next thing on. Deciding, we had a team meeting and deciding on which one's going to come first, how to go about it. We do have solutions for both of them, and we do have paths. I think in the next maybe 2 weeks or so, once we finish the LP stuff, we'll be moving into the expansion there. I'm not going to say which one comes first, but it's really determined by where the market is and where the liquidity is and what the users want. The users right now of the platform are much more interested in EVM. Hyperliquid seems to be like the most common one. Us being, native to Bitcoin, we just know the opportunity that if we go and build out for runes and ordinals and BRC 2.0 and alkanes, that we could basically market capture that really quick, because no other AI team really has the understanding and capabilities to do that. So it's really this kind of tug and pull relationship on which one to go. But to the benefit is now that if the hustle token, maintains stable floor, above 15, 20 million or so, that gives us revenue to scale. And so really the idea would be to hire 1 or 2 more developers. And we've had some conversations with some, very capable developers that also have a reputation to join the team. And so if business stays well, then we can scale faster and we could kind of accomplish both at the same time.
Love it.
Yeah, I can't imagine what you guys adding a few more devs is going to look like. I mean, you guys are already moving pretty fast in the sense of, I mean, Agent Hustle was a thought 6 months ago, right? And now you guys are up and running with that. And Migrate.fun was a thought 2 months ago, and now you guys are up running with that, right? So really excited to see you guys grow and actually add another dev or another 2 devs. That'd be insane.
I'm collecting devs like Infinity Stones, dude. You gotta
get the right ones, though, right?
You do. Yeah. What I've learned is through all the different businesses that I've had, is that the early stages of a startup, the first probably 10 team members are very important. They all need to fit culturally more than anything. And I've really taken a priority of that as, building the team out since I've been there. Adam and I were the first employees outside the co-founders. We were employee 3 and 4. Now we have 8 team members, seven team members, eight team members. And every single person has been kind of handpicked for different areas, but to fit culturally has been the most important part. So, another 2 or so, they need to have their edges in certain areas, and then you can finally really start scaling for specific positions rather than specific people.
Yeah. I got one last question for you, though, because we could typically ask you in the beginning of this, the Emblem Hour, is how do you feel like the rest of the year's going to go, right? Oh, let's talk more specifically where people are confused right now. And I feel like from here to the end of August, how do you see that playing out?
I'm pretty bullish overall. Ethereum's sitting well above $3,000. And so I suspect that all of the projects who were going to TGE restarted those conversations about a week ago. So probably from here through August, you're going to see some more TGEs happening or TGE announcements. And I think the market just continues at this kind of steady increase. Bitcoin dominance is decreasing, right? You have the Clarity Act that's going to be passed here in September, which then is great for altcoins, hopefully. I mean, I think so. And I just think the market dynamics are a little changed. It's more similar to a very steady, increase for Bitcoin and for ETH and for Solana versus these like volatile ups and downs. And then the altcoin markets go up and down. I think I saw Thread Guy talking about how he thinks the alt season is just going to be AI season 2, which is, I mean, nothing new to us. It's something that we said a year ago, that AI was just going to continue to be the dominant factor as we move from the attention cycle into the intelligence cycle of late 2025 and 2026 and probably early 2027, until that just becomes obviously fluid across the entire industry. And so, if Thread Guy's going to perpetuate the narrative of AI season 2, then it's probably bound to happen at this point. I think this is why Agent Hustle is increasing. Obviously, the migrate fund stuff is kind of the lead catalyst here, which you have to pay attention to for in August for a lot more information of that. But Agent Hustle is now the number 7 DeFi AI project by market cap. Should easily be number 1 or number 2. Bankroot's actually really crushing it, so we should be right up there with them. And that's our goal, continue to grow and grind. And I think the market continues just this trend upwards. If you remember, I mean, we had this conversation before, but I always thought that Bitcoin was going to, I even have this posted on December 31st of last year, that Bitcoin was going to consolidate between 120K and 70K throughout quarter 3. And so far that's true. I mean, it hit 122K, but so far it's in that range. And so I think you probably just see this slow kind of melt upwards. I'm not one of the like gigantic Bitcoin bulls that say Bitcoin's going to hit 250K this year and stuff. I think, maybe 150K at the end of the year. It just takes so much more capital to move Bitcoin up that I just think Bitcoin's a slow grind up, just like it is like a stock market. And altcoins will follow. Just make sure you're in the right ones. And I think AI is the fastest horse in this race.
What about Ethereum, though? Do you think it gets to 65?
I would say Ethereum could get near its all-time high at the end of the year, but realistically, probably for tax purposes, probably doesn't go past all-time high until after the new year, because all-time high is what, like 5K or close to 5K,
4,800, something around there.
Yeah. I mean, if you just think about like the seasonality of crypto, everything tends to sell off, or people stop trading kind of at the end of the year for tax reasons, and always January is always like the most mega bullish. I mean, if you remember 2021. Still to this day, my biggest win is Dogecoin, when I was buying it for a quarter of a penny in 2018 and 19 and 2020 and holding it. And then literally January 1st is when Dogecoin went from 14 sats up to like 25 sats. And everyone remembers before Dogecoin really took off, it was anytime Doge is under 20 sats is altcoin season's right around the way. And Doge is starting to move again. And I think January is probably when you see just like insane alt season because it is a new tax year and stuff like that. But again, I think AI is the fastest in this race. I think Bitcoin ecosystem is also going to have a gigantic breakout probably January. Still needs a little bit more infrastructure to get there, but it is getting pretty close. And then honestly, kind of bullish on ETH L2s because of the Robinhood situation. And also
Abstract too.
Abstract, yeah. I think like either the L2 token, just because Wall Street's kind of putting their full weight behind Ethereum, or maybe applications within these L2s. But we'll see. I remain bullish, and I think the top is still around America's 250th birthday next year, which I said literally over a year ago.
I really hope so. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm selling the main, going away. Like I'm just done. I'm just done, man. I don't care what the prices is. I'm just done. Taking the summer off. I'm gonna have someone else sitting in this chair doing the show. No, I'm just kidding. But Jake, man, it's been absolutely awesome, dude. Really appreciate your time. Really appreciate everything you're building for every ecosystem. Right. So that's absolutely awesome. We'll give you the stage one last time. If there's anything when you say to the audience.
buy Hustle, use Migrate Fund, and get strapped in for a fun August. It should definitely be that.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, see you
All right.
guys. Have a good weekend.
You as well.
Absolutely awesome, as always. Really appreciate. You guys got to remember, like, Jake's super busy, and for him to give us an hour of his day is absolutely awesome. And I hope you guys can take advantage of it. And we've been doing the Emblem Hour now, going on, I want to say 4 months now, and you guys have been
that long?
It's been a while, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while. So you guys knew about Hustle before anyone else, and I hope you guys took advantage of it. I took advantage of it for sure, and I really hope that potentially you guys are doing really well. We want you guys to win, and that's our number one goal here. But we have 941 people in here right now. Appreciate every single one of you guys, man. It means the world to us.
Absolutely, man. What a way to finish off the week. And you got to just be bullish on the space in general. Whenever you hear about teams like that, you think about the early .com days and how teams were forming and becoming the next big thing, right? And so Emblem definitely has such a good opportunity to be one of those companies, right? One of those Silicon Valley type of companies that just explode. And there's gonna be several, but you get to listen to the founders on this channel, one of the only channels that brings the founders directly to you guys. So appreciate each and every one of you guys, though, man. Without you guys, I will continue to say this till the end, we wouldn't be able to do this, and we're so thankful for that. And also our partners like Emblem, they support us to allow us to be able to do this as well. So if you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap of the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for runes or alkanes, you got to do it at Sats Terminal. Why? Because they will give you Amber points. Amber points is their XP that you will earn by connecting your wallet for the first time. You get 1,000 Amber points, but every transaction will accrue more Amber points, and Amber points are going to go towards and give back to early adopters. So make sure you're heading over to satsterminal.com. Next week, we will give you guys some more updates. They got some exciting stuff coming to the platform and to their product suite as well. Head over to satsterminal.com. And then Emblem Vault, we just talked for an hour with the CEO, Jake Gallen, which we have every day, or every Friday, I should say, on every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you join for that segment or catch it if you miss it. But they specialize in being able to jump your ordinals from Bitcoin Layer 1 to Ethereum. Right now, you can do so with the Taproot Wizard collection, and you can actually do with any ordinal or anything, but you can take your Taproot Wizard and take a loan out against it on the Gandhi application on Ethereum. But there's going to be more applications that start to accept these ordinals and rare Pepes and whatever you want to bring over from Bitcoin. But they're going to also open this up for other Ethereum Layer 2s like Base, Abstract, Arbitrum, possibly some Bitcoin Layer 2s like Merlin as well, and Solana, of course, because they have that tech stack experience with building Agent Hustle, which is their AI product we just talked about for an hour. Agent Hustle is the biggest news right now that's happening on the Solana blockchain and ecosystem. It is the top AI product over there. And what is Hustle? Hustle is an AI tool that you can use to guide you through Solana's trenches, right? If you want to ask, hey, Hustle, give me a 2x, 5x safe play, he'll bring back a couple options on why he thinks these are good, or some red flags on some tokens that you might want him to break down for you. Also, he has a conditional trading function that's built into where you can actually set a trade, say, hey, buy Fart coin at a 20% decrease from the current price, but then sell it at a 100% increase once you reach that. And you can go to the gym, go do whatever you need to do, and he will execute that trade for you. So really exciting stuff. They're going to be adding the Bitcoin tech stack to this as well, and EVM. So it's going to be cross-chain. The Hustle token is associated with Agent Hustle, of course, so you can look into that. But also, there's more. They have a TGE for their Bitcoin room for the parent company called the Emblem Founder Vaults. And if you go to OpenSea, you can purchase a pre-sale of one of these NFTs. And once TGE comes around in about October, there's a block height that these open up, and you will have a Bitcoin wallet in the vault, and you will be able to get your Bitcoin runes out of there. So it's going to be really exciting. Bitcoin runes is getting that infrastructure that everybody's talking about, and there's a lot of hype with Kraken as well. So might be something related to that with Emblem Founder Vaults as well, but you will have to wait and see. But yeah, head over to emblem.vision, join their Discord, join their community, and learn more there. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to trade, leverage, or perps, you got to do it at Artura.finance. They just launched on Botonic's Spider Chain Bitcoin Layer 2. We will have one of the C-suite executives on from Botonic's next week, but not live, will be recorded. You can learn more there. Also, we're going to do some tutorials on how you guys can earn by utilizing the Artura platform for their XP, but also some XP on the Botonic side, as they're going to be giving, both are going to be giving kickbacks to early adopters as well. But you can trade right now. It is live. You can trade for Bitcoin or Ethereum right there on the platform. In the future, they are looking to add Bitcoin fungibles to their platform, like Doggo to the Moon, possibly Ordi, Sats, and more. But also, if you're not into trading, you can earn XP by adding a liquidity to their vaults. That's actually the most XP that you can earn. And so make sure you're taking advantage of that as well. If you have any questions, join their Discord. Join their Discord anyways. They have really good trader communities there. They can guide you through the platform, and it's really, really fun stuff. Some unique products coming to be able to trade as well. Head over to Artura.finance today to learn more. And then Fluid Tokens is the UTXO wizard devs of the Bitcoin ecosystem, but they also built on Cardano. We'll start with Bitcoin though, since we clicked there, and you can check out their new staking vault that just opened up. You can stake alkanes to earn dust. No, mist. So they have their alkanes. Sorry, alchemists, I should say. They have their alkane staking vaults, but then they did a merge of runes and alkanes. You can stake dog to earn, what is that? Diesel, or you can stake diesel to earn dog. So really cool that they're kind of mixing these up. That's why we call them the wizard UTXO wizard devs, because they know how to do these things. Super exciting stuff, guys. Join their Discord as well. If you want to create a staking vault for your community, if you launch something, then you can go to their Discord and ask them how to get set up there. If you want to airdrop runes or alkanes to your community as well, you can go to their homepage and click on the airdrop menu tab right there in the middle. And then you can select runes or alkanes. Really simple process. There's two options. If you want to do a bulk, you can upload a CSV file. And then if you want to do it manually, you can do it one by one right then and there. On the Cardano side, if you want to participate in their aquarium platform, you can add liquidity to earn Babel fees that way, so people don't have to use ADA as gas fees on Cardano. Really cool concept. Also, they have a reoccurring scheduling payment for ADA. If you are a builder in Cardano, you pay your devs in ADA. You can set that up right there at fluidtokens.com on the Cardano side. Check them out, guys, for sure. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet for the Bitcoin and Cardano ecosystem. And that's not it. Also Sui as well. They added support there. So if you're looking to swap for runes, you can do so. They partnered with Sats Terminal to make that possible in their application. Same thing on the Cardano side. You can swap for SNEC or other Cardano tokens because they partnered with Dex Hunter as well. And the Sui application is going to be available very soon, and you can swap for Sui tokens. And they're going to be adding more ecosystems. Their whole objective is to make their wallet application the best UI UX that you can have. And so make sure that you guys download this. If you have an iPhone, go to the Apple App Store. If you have an Android, go to the Google Play Store and let us know what you think. We'll give the feedback to the team there. Also, there's an alpha section. You can see us. We have our YouTube channel on there, along with some other YouTubers there. It is truly a one-stop shop there. Go to Tokyo.io and learn more. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength through the power of AI. They also have an AI tool that is really cool and helpful. The Wizard version 0.03. 0.3, which will guide you through Merlin Chain's ecosystem. If you want to ask any questions about Merlin Chain, it will answer them directly. Also, you can have DeFi functions done on your behalf by the Wizard, staking, swapping, etc. Version 4 is going to give you information cross-chain, because the whole objective of Merlin coming up is being able to do things cross-chain as well. So make sure that you are following them on X so you know when that version 4 comes out. But if you want to participate in helping secure the chain, you could do so with their proof of stake option there. There's 3 options. There is the Bitcoin staking to earn more Bitcoin. You get a minimum of 8% and a maximum of 21%, averages out to be about 16% there. It will max out at 100 Bitcoin, so make sure you're taking advantage of that before it gets there. And then also it gets locked up until September 30th. So just know that you do have that date locked up until that that last date there. And then also 2 options with the Merlin chain token, the flexible, which is a day-to-day, you earn 15% APR. You can claim your rewards every single day. Also, there is a 7-day cool-off period once you do withdraw, so just know that, don't freak out. And then also a 6-month period of locking up, and then you get 45% APR. But again, you can claim your rewards day-to-day. Very simple and very useful there. So head over to merlinchain.io. Make sure that you check out our Merlin Mondays every day at 12 p.m. Eastern. We have Jeff, the founder of Merlin Chain, on as well. And then lastly is our guys from Ordinal Hive, the Ordinal aggregator marketplace. You're going to find the cheapest ordinals around at Ordinal Hive. Our guy Fonzie, the CEO over there, has been grinding with his team. They have really cool trader tools as well, live mempool insights, so you can grab someone that accidentally fat fingered a NodeMonk for $420 instead of $4,200, right? Also, you get your Bitcoin right away whenever you sell something. You don't have to wait 10, 30, 50-minute blocks. They will give it to you right away. Head over to ordinalhive.io and stay tuned to their Twitter account as well, as they're going to be announcing new information as things roll out. They have a really cool XP dashboard as well, and you can find out all that information on their site at ordinalhive.io or join their Discord. And we thank you guys so much for checking out our partners, man. It really does help us out a lot because they are the second half of what allows us to do this. And you guys, of course, are the main reason, and we appreciate you.
Yep, man. Great job as always. And if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChainRevolution.io, some of the best articles. We want to eventually turn this into, a CoinDesk, a Cointelegraph. That's always kind of been the goal. But for right now, while we just had just the 2 of us, we're just kind of knocking out 1 article a week and putting it up here. So definitely check out the articles, guys. It really, again, that helps the show as well. Make sure you guys are reading through. And if you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like help them get started and code up to where we are today. I guess, like I said, all the way back to 2023, all the way back there. Articles almost every single week. Check them all out there. VPN, Nord, guys. I highly recommend it. I use it every single day. Make sure if you guys do get it, you get it through us, honestly, because you save 70%, 76%. Getting for $3.39. Lock it in for 2 years. Set it, forget it, be done with it. Rather than you set it for 3 months and then have to come back and pay the $11.59. You don't want that. I don't want that. You definitely want to be, getting the cheapest price possible, lock it in for 2 years. And remember, when you're going to sites, you're giving them your IP address. Make sure it's a VPN address where, you can put it anywhere in the world. And there's a lot of sites that geo-block you. I actually got geo-blocked this morning because for some reason my Nord was turned off on my phone, and I was like, what the hell is this? And then I realized my VPN was off, and I put it back on. Good to go. There's no geo-blocking you from any site. And if you have Netflix, for instance, and you're watching on your iPad, put your VPN on. You can put it to Spain, put it to different parts of the world, and you actually get different movies and different series. I actually didn't know that till recently. So definitely want to do that if you're interested in seeing where in the world is different than what you have on your Netflix. Definitely check that out. If you get your VPN today. If you guys need merch, we got some of the best merch, guys. Some of the absolute best merch. You definitely want to be checking it out. Hats, shirts, hoodies, jackets, and so much more, guys. Check it all out here at OnChainRevolution.io. And a quick thank you to everyone who commented. The comments mean so much. Stan, Patty Poo, Brotoshi, Malam, Yuri. I mean, you guys are absolutely amazing today. I really appreciate every comment. Remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific at 3 p.m. at UTC. Check us out all week, guys. And until Monday.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear traps. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. On-Chain Revolution.